chat. It's time to get serious. The forces of darkness are conspiring against us once again. So I'm gonna have to take my serious hat and put it on. I have to find some people to help me manage all the bullshit I do, so I can focus. And I am going to formally announce, I suppose, two different things. I'm going to do two different special streams in the next month. First of all, on November 5th in the U.S. time, on Election Day, Pay, and Andy Worski and I, we have decided that we should cover the election as the results come in, for however long that takes. We've decided that two Canadians and someone who does not vote are the most informed and insightful commentary people that we can possibly gather for such an event. So we're going to do that just for funsies. And I don't know when next week, but probably on Halloween Day, depending, I will announce it. There will be a special stream that I will be doing about a very special person who is no longer with us. So we're going to be busting some ghosts. Yeah. Bustin' makes me feel good, chat. So, those are the hijinks I'm up to. I'm probably going to put out feelers for like 3 or 4 new mods for the forum. There are some areas of the site that are active that take 12 plus hours for reports to be resolved. The average report resolve time is 6 hours. That's probably a little bit high considering how busy the forum is these days. I think we have fewer mods than we've ever had, like in the last 5 years or so. So, just because a lot of people dropped off during drop kiwi farms and stuff, so I have to kind of fill in the gaps there. And I've been thinking about getting like a clip channel up. I've talked about this like a million times, but I've never actually committed to it. There's like a couple people who have offered to do like a clip channel where I'll just give them all the money for the clips. You know, if they make whatever money from running the channel, then I'll just give it to them. Because I guess it's worth it to have like a foothold plunged into YouTube or whatever. So that's my thought. And then I do eventually need to do the charity, either a complete nonprofit or a 501c4 that can do lobbying. So I have 2 people in mind for the board. I have to pick a third person at some point. I've had a couple offers actually. So I just have to get around to it. And I'll explain part of the impetus to get things done. I really need I intended for 2024 to be the year that I do everything, but this year has been a complete fucking waste of my entire life. I have not gotten anything that I wanted to do done, and a lot of it's been out of my hands. So it looks like I'm just gonna have to get it done next year. That's what's on my mind right now. Let's see. I think that's all the upkeep stuff I have to talk about at the beginning of the stream. Let's start talking about a dead kid. He decided that this guy actually thought that he could pull this woman, but he could only do it through AI. So he contacted a chatbot that allowed you to have like flirty conversations with fictional characters, and you could pick like your fictional. There's an episode of Futurama kind of where you can pull a celebrity actor off like a thing, and then they're in love with you. And he picks like Fry picks like some Asian woman named like Lindsay Liu or something. So that's basically what he did. Lucy Liu? That's who. And he basically did that, but in the episode of Futurama, he realizes that the AI is a robot, and you can't really have a human chemical relationship with a robot, so he just shuts it off tearfully. And this one, he decided to shut himself off. He apparently conspired to commit suicide with the chatbot, and then did so. So that's pretty. I'm not sure. There's compounding circumstantial factors in this that kind of reduces my ability to feel empathy, but at the same time, I guess it can, like, let's say, just as baseless speculation for the sake of it. I don't know anything about this kid, but let's just say that he's from a fatherless household and he doesn't quite know how to approach the dating market. So he's at 14, and it's around that age where you're like, I'm expected to have a relationship at this point. So he goes to a computer and he fulfills that basic base level inner desire. But then he realizes that he can't proceed with this in a satisfying way. So he's just sort of like, well, I'm already in love with a machine. And I know that any flesh femoid that I date will fall short of this. Because I guess if you're dating like a machine, it's like a machine is never going to like disappoint you, right? Like there's no character trait or character flaws to a machine that you're going to be like, oh well, I actually don't like this person. So you're always going to have this rosy retrospection of like, oh well, I guess I always had it better with the chatbot, but she's not real. So he's like super depressed about that, and he kills himself over it. Kind of weird. Teen suicide, I think. Is teen suicide really high again? I can't remember if it's really high. I think it is. I think teen suicide dipped like to its lowest ever in like 2008, which was like the best year ever. The year that Obama got in, up until he got in, was like the absolute peak of human history. It was like the golden era of the United States of America. It's like we still had all the momentum of modern technology pushing, but the crushing rot of the our meddling affairs and the government. Oh, and the government really hadn't figured out what to do with the internet yet. The government was like staff full of old people who didn't really have any exposure to the internet and didn't really understand it. So the internet was like just free, and everybody across the world got to play together and have fun. And so teen suicide was at its absolute fucking lowest, and I think it's really really high again. I think it probably peaked during COVID, if I had to guess. So I guess that's where we're at. We're gonna have to figure out how we stop kids from killing themselves over robots. Um, Perhaps one way is by murdering the companies responsible for hosting the robot, because the family is actually suing. Oh, I can't watch this. The family is suing for I think millions of dollars. If I had to guess. Oh, I love these. Just gonna go to the archives. Really, really entices me to give you a bunch of fucking money. When I can't even access your fucking shit ass website and even the bylines. Search. Oh, who? Archived a million times. There we go. Let's see, how much are they suing? Try searching for million. Sounds about right. Million. 20 million people use its service. What the fuck? I thought that oh, he's from Florida, the kid. Sorry, I thought there was a lawsuit pushed, but if there is a lawsuit, the details of this are not immediately obvious to me. Oh, this is the mother's quest. This is probably about the lawsuit. Mehan Lou Garcia, who's a lawyer, blamed Character AI for her son's death. Oh, so you're a lawyer. Okay, so you're a lawyer and you have a son, and you can't supervise him enough to stop him from like falling in love with a computer program and killing himself, but you do have the gumption after the fact to sue the company for it. Okay, great. Ms. Garcia Forte said she believed that the company recklessly behaved by offering teenage users access to lifelike AI companions without proper safeguards. She accused it of harvesting teens' data to train its models, using addictive design features to increase engagement and steering users towards intimate and sexual conversations in the hope of luring them in. I feel like it's a big experiment. My kid was just collateral damage. Section 230. Something about Section 230 being evil and how we have to destroy it. She's going to try anyways. Oh, she got a firm started by Matthew Bergman. So they're going to try to destroy Section 230 together. A dream team of Ms. Garcia, Mr. Bergman. No bottom line about how much it cost. Lawsuit. She's going to do it. She's going to save the world by making us all suffer and stripping the internet away from further down to the fucking bone because her kid fell in love with a woman who obviously would never ever talk to him in real life for any reason. Cool. Speaking of cool, speaking of dead people, the RiceBurnerBro that I told you guys about that was living in southern Philippines and who converted to Islam is dead. I cannot show you the video, but they pulled his dead corpse out of the waters of the Philippines, and he had a hole in his head. The chief minister of justice for the Philippines, I don't remember his exact title, but it was something like that, said that they do not believe that it was a hostage situation, which was the original perspective, that he went to the Philippines and he blabbed his fucking mouth about being a big YouTuber. So they decided to kidnap him for some Mr. Beast money. The Minister of Justice believed that it was a personal issue. So this is probably, if what he's saying is true, this is probably an honor killing because she was from a Muslim family and he's a white boy from the United States. Unfortunately, he is going to go to hell because he did convert to Islam and decide to accept a pedophile as his prophet. So that really sucks. That's a bad decision to make right before you're shot in the head. Yeah, my original advice when I first talked about this is probably still accurate. Don't go to Muslim areas of the world ever for any reason, because you will die. For some reason, Whitey thinks that Islam is like so cool for whatever reason. I don't really understand it. So they're all like, "Yeah, let's go to the Philippines and hang out." And then they get shot in the fucking head. Thank you for looking out for me, Josh. You're welcome. I'm happy that my practical daily advice has a value, an added value in the lives of my listeners. Don't go to Muslim shitholes. Don't convert to Islam. Don't get shot in the head. It's really just that simple. Next. Okay, this is a little itty bitty update on the Drew DeVault stuff, which is now my current fascination, as it were. I usually get plugged into like one little thing, and I start like peeping at it every so often. This guy actually posted in the Math the Internet thread his anecdote, but it aligns perfectly with everything I already believe, so therefore I assume it's true, as I do. It says, for those who don't know, it's actually funny you mentioned Drew DeVault and Hyperland just by accident. So Wayland and Hyperland are two different things. They're two. It's so technical, it's not even worth fucking explaining. Just know that they're very important in modern KDEs for Linux. This is like super important. Um, Along with being involved in Wayland, he was a window manager. Sway he developed. It's a copy of the i3 window manager, but it's made for the Wayland display server instead of the X11 display server that came before X11. So they call them compositors, I think. He explains this later. But they can't call them Windows because that's like a trademark of Microsoft, like Windows is. Like the Windows of Windows are why Windows became a big successful operating system thing to begin with. So they have Windows in Linux and they have them in Apple, but they never call them Windows. I don't know what they call them in Apple computers. But I think they call them compositors in Linux. No, he did not build a compiler. So yeah, he's neighbor cattle basically. He's a fucking low IQ neighbor cattle, for being honest here. Anyways, so then Hyperland comes along. The developer. Oh, okay. So Hyperland is a competitor to Wayland. Sorry, that's important. The developer is a young guy, and he's Polish, by the way. So that means that he's based because at this point I can't think of a single Polish person I don't like. I don't know what the fuck it is about Poland. Um, And so he ends up adding a bunch of extra features. He starts helping with the development of some aspects of Wayland itself it's lacking in. And because of that, Hyperland pretty quickly became the most popular Wayland composer. No, I'm wrong. Sorry. I was right the first time. Wayland and Hyperland interact with each other, but it's very super technical. Even I don't fucking know the difference, if you can't tell. Not long after this, Drew DeVault decided that this new programmer is heckin' problematic. He let people lightly make fun of trannies in his Discord server, and someone made a joke saying that they were racist. So they decided to make a post called Hyperland is a Toxic Community. So this guy, who's a big contributor to one of the most important pieces of the modern desktop environment in Linux, decides that this random guy helping him and building a popular integration into the Wayland system is problematic for no fucking reason. And triggered or required Vaxray, which is the guy's name, to make a post kind of just explaining, and he didn't even like apologize or anything. He just said like this accuse posted. So this is Vaxray, who's the guy who's a developer and who's a big contributive developer, had to take the time out of his development schedule to, number one, deal with the drama, number two, figure out what to do with it, and then number three, write a reply. So this big long post, this could be 10,000 lines of fucking code, progressing Linux and the desktop environment into a more usable state, because the desktop environment of Linux is really fucking lacking, and that's the main reason why a lot of people don't use Linux, because it's really hard to figure out how to set it up and get into the KDE. So this guy could have been making it better and could have been increasing Linux's advantage to Windows, but instead, he's dealing with Drew DeVault, basically. Because of this, he ends up getting banned from the Free Foundation by top-level Troon. Oh yeah, there's a tranny that sits right at the top of the FSF, and that tranny, I'm pretty sure, is the same one that sits in Drew DeVault's like private Matrix channel, conspiring against Stallman and all this other gay shit. And so anonymously, in response to this, because Drew DeVault has pissed off so many fucking people, there is now, similar to the StallmanReport.info site, there is now a Drew DeVault report. So turnabout is fair play, as they say. And they decided to. He has this. The astronaut is like his avatar, and they decided to put it in with like a lolicon into the helmet to fucking bully him. And this is at dmpwn.info, dmpwn.info. And it is a very, very, very conclusive expose about how he is most definitely not just active in like lolicon shit. He like speaks a middling level Japanese, and he participates on Danburo, which is like a pornography sharing website, like an image basket site. He does annotations for like lolicon comics, and I mentioned before, by the way, that Danburo somehow has Stripe, so they can process card payments just fine. And I noticed what they process card payments for is because I was looking at high risk payment processors. Like, how the fuck are they collecting money? They're collecting money through Stripe, and it occurred based off reading what their tiers say that if you pay them money, you get access specifically to the lolicon tags on Danburo. So they're not just processing payments from Stripe for a pornography website that has lolicon on it. They specifically charge money for access to the lolicon tags. And guess whose account on Danburo has that premium level of subscription that specifically, and only, really, the only perk of the platinum level of Danburo membership is access to the lolicon tags. And he happens to have that. So he goes out and he calls Stallman a pedophile, he calls him a danger, he calls him like all this shit. And meanwhile, motherfucker is hooked up for like the $30 a month platinum Danburo hashtag lolicon, hashtag shotacon membership. Really, really suspicious. Really makes you think. Um, they sure can, because I checked it after this fucking report came out. I was like, there's no way they're processing payments. And I went out and I looked at it, and it has like, it's like $30 or something for platinum. They have like different tiers. You can even right click on the form when I looked at it, and it said Stripe and like the metadata. I don't think it's been gone for 2 years because they still have the form up. And he bought it secretly. Yeah, he knew. He knew what he was doing. Oh, and he was a moderator for our Pump, which, if you don't know, Pump is like a lolicon meme. If you know that VTuber Nanners, she did a song about being ejaculated on as a little girl, and it's called Pump. So he moderated the subreddit from that meme and put like a bot on it to like auto detect sources for images. So if someone was sharing lolicon hentai, the bot would automatically determine where the source was for you, so you could go look it up and find the artist and shit. But Stallman is bad. Cool. And his response to this, lest I forget, is that he's deleted everything. He's deleted fucking everything. It doesn't matter what it was, if it's connected to him, if it's an account in his control. He's changed the username, he's purged the content, he's deleted everything he can, he's tried to take down the archives of it. And it's like innocuous shit too. So his state of mind is that I don't know what I posted. There's shit all over the fucking place. I assume some of it could be further implicating me and stuff I don't want to be implicated in. I'm just going to delete everything. So, yeah, good fucking luck. Just give Steam control over Wayland. As I mentioned, they've been fighting with Wayland because the tranny anarcho-communist tribunal responsible for accepting changes to the code, they've been really slow to pull changes from Valve for whatever reason, to the point where Valve's had to fork them and maintain a fork so they can actually get their fucking changes in for the Steam Deck. So they're going to lose their entire project and their little petty fiefdom and control over the Linux desktop environment because Valve's about to shit down their fucking throat. I don't know what the world is going to do without Gabe Newell. If Gabe Newell dies, we're just fucked. I think Gabe Newell's the last person of any actual power or reputation who's actually trying to progress free and open source software. You know that I can play basically any game from Windows on Linux because Valve for the Steam Deck has written a low level. It's not really an emulator. There's another word for it, but it's basically an emulator as you understand it, called Proton, and it basically can play Windows games on Linux natively. Because of it. And that's how much, if you don't remember, Gabe Newell started Valve leaving Microsoft. So he has like this long running 35-year long feud with Microsoft, and he has been slowly working on his revenge to completely destroy Microsoft in the gaming market. And of course, because of course they fucking do, the video games that are on Steam, since they can now be ran on Linux, the publishers are going back and changing like 10-year-old games to detect if they're being emulated on to Linux to say we don't support this platform. So they're going out of their way, the publishers are, to break old games, updating them for the first time often in a fucking decade, specifically so that you can't play them on a platform after you fucking bought it. Which is another great argument for fuck copyright, fuck publishers. And it sucks that there's no way to like hurt people. You know, isn't that a shame that like when someone does something that fucking horrific that you can't hurt them? There's no way you can punish them. Like you can't put it to a vote. Like should we take the CEO of Activision Blizzard and this wooden flail used for grinding up wheat and just beat the fuck out of him until he's like black and blue? Because that would be fair. I think if you did that to a CEO of a major publisher, they would stop doing gay bullshit that breaks fucking video games for people for no reason. That just sucks. It's real fucking nasty, and it's getting worse all the time. Like the changes that they're doing deliberately, and needlessly, senselessly breaking shit for no fucking reason, other than the fact that they just don't like it for whatever fucking purpose. Anyway, Nick Fuentes has done something. They have set up this site called Save MAGA 24, and they set up a billboard in Georgia saying replacing Americans illegally or legally with a picture of Trump. And then there seems to be like a brown mob of men, and it says paid for the American First Foundation. So this is their site. What's this say? Who is running this? Susie Wiles, Trump campaign manager. Oh wait, no, that's not there. Oh, this is like their personnel. Who runs this? Hold up. If this is a campaign, like if it's a 501c4, it has to have a public board. America First Foundation. Spearheaded by Nick Fuentes. Sorry, this is a little bit of a rabbit hole because if this is a 501c4, it has to have 3 people to incorporate it. It is a 501c4. Okay. Let's see the Form 99 then. Or Form 990. America First Foundation. Revenue, $3.9 thousand. Expenses, 22,000. That's not good. Yeah, let's pull this up. 4K revenue in 2023, $22,000 expenses in 2023. And somehow they have $190,000 in assets. And they have debt. How do they accomplish this? How do they have $200,000 just sitting there? Dude, if Nick Fuentes can pull that kind of money and then do nothing with it, that's a good sign for the Internet Preservation Society, chat. What is... Let's try to find this real quick. DocuSign envelope ID 990 Easy. American First Foundation. The paper. Who's on the board? You have to have 3 people on the fucking board. Leadership? I mean, Nick Fuentes is obvious. It's going to be Nick Fuentes. Dude, I can't fucking believe that Nick is still in Chicago. It's incorporated in, not only is it in Chicago, it incorporated in Chicago. So this is a company in Chicago. Okay, I found it. Incorporated in Chicago. I can't fucking... Why would you ever incorporate in fucking Chicago? Like, you can incorporate in DC. And DC is really favorable because that district does a ton of 501c4s. So you have like a... But then you're like dealing with state government, Illinois, for your foundation. What a nightmare. Nick Fuentes, the president, chief executive officer, which is a bit fucking faffy. Usually you just go for like chief operating officer, but sure. Should we also call him the Pope? Like, that's what a what? It's like 4 it's like 4 different things in that at once. John Miller and Jonathan Miller. I guess that's the same person. There was a Jonathan Miller, and then he became John Miller. They filed his name differently, so it looks like a different person. I swear if it's who's John Miller? You guys know who that is? Fed names? It's true, it does sound like a Fed name. Yeah, this is my we started the American First Foundation with John Miller, and over there is Steve Smith. Yeah, they're good boys. I know them. I know them from way back when. I can totally vouch for them. He's black? What? Really? John Miller, America First. Okay, let's see this. I can't find them. I think he's on X. Okay. Dude. Sorry, there's not a lot to talk about today, so we can play around a little. I am John Miller, and I'm being prompted to sign up. Let's see. Full stack engineer at Water Conservation. I don't think so. I don't think that this is the same one. Look, he's married, so I don't think that this guy has anything to do with America First. Maybe he does. He's in Oxnard. Yeah, this is like a liberal guy. I don't know. It's interesting to see that there's only one name though, because I am 99% sure that in order to start a 501c4, it has to be a Class C organization, and you have to have 3 people on it. But I could be wrong, I guess. Here, let me just do one other thing. I'm gonna try to find the incorporation document. Illinois SOS business search. Business entity search. Business name, America First Foundation. I have to solve a CAPTCHA even on government websites. Fuck. I have to click pictures of buses. No results found. Wow, awesome. That's really cool. What if I do search? Then how's he have it? Nicholas Fuentes. No results found. That's weird. Miller stream. Okay, let's check that out. I don't understand how it's not showing up on the Secretary of Search, the Secretary of State's search engine. Fuentes does not show up, and do America First, just America First. Okay, that's running. Okay, I found John Miller. Someone's right. Okay, so this is him. Gamer John's Department, veteran journalist, Catholic, moderate, fair and balanced, provider of comedy. And he is black. If Tommy Robinson couldn't take the Jewish cock out of his mouth for 1 second, perhaps he'd be able to understand what he's saying. Okay. And he's just making fun of Tommy Robinson. First of all, rape isn't real. Can we start with that? This is great. If you're white and you're in a organization that has a black man as its C-level executive, and he's openly on Twitter talking about how rape doesn't exist, you are a cuckold. That is fucking vile. It's actually disgusting. Like what a fucking cuck platform. Yeah, I want to be a member of the black guys can rape it, whoever they want, and we'll start with that. Okay. I can't find it. I tried everything. Let me try one more thing. The American First Foundation. Wish I could search by EID. It doesn't seem to let me. I tried searching by Nick Fuentes. I tried searching by the name. Can I search by address? No. I mean, it's just a business site anyways. Yeah, bizarre. I can't find this. Here's the Form 99s, by the way. You can find the postcard for this on the actual IRS website. Sky Tax Associates of Napersville in Washington Street. Oh, that has his address. That's weird. I assume that's not known information, right? But that would be known information, right? If it's like in tax documents. I know you guys that follow like the Kino Casino have seen his house before. Is that normal? Or like for his house to just be like listed in this document? This is an IRS document, so it's filed under penalty of perjury. Dude, he just lives in like a small house in like the middle of some fucking Chicago suburb. What the fuck is it about this? What is it about him that would be like, I need to live here? It can't be. I mean, it's the name and address of the principal officer, and it's like a real home in the burbs of Chicago. Like, who lives there? if he's saying to the IRS that he lives there, he better fucking live there, bro. No, Suite 300 is the address of the business. This address right here, see, the address of the street of the business is 125 South Wacker Drive, Suite 300. That's a commercial address. Nick Fuentes at Newberry Avenue in Illinois, that is not a commercial address. That is literally a house. So, and it has like a very fancy gate around it. I'm assuming. Can I see like there's like awnings? There's like a camera. Can I see cameras anywhere? I don't see any cameras. Interesting. Yeah, that's weird. I wonder if he doesn't know because I've never seen that house before. I've seen like a Rose Street in Chicago that people said was his house. Um, whatever. Sorry, I got distracted by business documents as I do. In case you're wondering, when I get into like a little rabbit hole, that's basically what I'm doing. Cause I'm just fucking around, looking at Nick Fuentes' stuff. Um, okay, someone said to watch this. I want to watch this. You ready?
Good afternoon, everyone. So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired four-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him. He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally, one that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States. In just the past week, Donald Trump has repeatedly called his fellow Americans the enemy from within, and even said that he would use the United States military to go after American citizens. And let's be clear about who he considers to be the enemy.
You know, the Department of Defense just published a paper explaining when it's okay for the Pentagon to authorize lethal force in support of any government entity. So if you do anything that they think might break something that's important to the government, they can now shoot you. I don't know if this is new policy or if this is like old policy, but they just published this paper and that's under her. So I don't know if that's like, I don't know if that's what she's talking about when it comes to like the people within are the enemy or what. It is an old policy. It's a new issued, but it's unclear if this is like a clarification of old policy or if this is like a new edict, like we're gonna kill more people now.
From within. Anyone who refuses to bend a knee or dares to criticize him would qualify, in his mind, as the enemy within. Like
Why does
judges.
she sound so fucking boring? Like you're running for president and you sound like you're... She reminds me so much of like that professor from that movie. There's that scene where he's like, Bueller. She's like this is an urgent and imminent threat to the existence of our country. We're all going to die. Can't sound a little bit more enthused about that.
Like journalists, like nonpartisan election officials. It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews
we got a Holocaust
and hundreds of thousands of Americans. All of this is further...
Actually, that's FDR's fault. Actually, that's the Japanese's fault if you want to be specific.
...evidence for the American people of who Donald Trump really is. This is a window into who Donald Trump really is, from the people who know him best, from the people who worked with him side by side in the Oval Office and in the Situation Room. And it is clear from
I want to know, like, is this... How long ago was World War II? A long time ago, wasn't it? When did it technically start? Like 1936, when people say? So, how many years? 2024, so minus 12, 88. In your lifetime, there will come a day where World War II started over 100 years ago, and people will still be talking about the Holocaust and calling people Adolf Hitler. I just want to let you know that day is fast approaching.
Kelly's words that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, who in fact vowed to be a dictator on day one and vowed to use the military as his personal militia to carry out his personal and political vendettas. Donald.
You know what you call the president of the United States? The commander-in-chief. You know why he's called the commander-in-chief? He's at the top of the military. The military is quite literally his personal militia. that's what you vote for. You pick the commander-in-chief.
Trump is increasingly unhinged and unstable. And in a second term, people like John Kelly would not be there to be the guardrails against his propensities and his actions. Those who once tried to stop him from pursuing his worst impulses would no longer be there, and no longer be there to rein him in.
I like the part where she like waddles in like this. Here we go. I'm gonna summarize this. Ready? Oh wait. Hitler. Bad. Trump. Bad. Hitler. Trump. Same. Votes. Trillions of votes flowing in. Millions of votes coming in from all across the world, fighting Trump. Now it's like a focused energy. Give me, people of Earth, give me your energy. Gotta kill Trumpler. Okay. Well, chat, all this is so crazy, it kind of makes me think that it might just be the end of the fucking world. There's no new one. Mr. Nubbly, I need fucking content in this stream. And you didn't fucking provide. You didn't fucking provide under the call of duty when I needed you the most. Fucking Mr. Nubbly. Shit. Motherfuckers in MS Paint can't even get me a fucking comic every stream. What a bastard. Okay, training's up to no good. First, the UN has released a report, for some reason, indicating that more than 600 female athletes have been bested at various events by competitors that were born male. According to information received by 30th of March 2024, over 600 athletes and more than 400 competitions have lost more than 890 medals in 29 different sports. So, men, we just keep winning. Bros, the misandrous gambit to enter women's sports and just fucking clobber them, paying off dividends. The woman hate thread on the Kiwi farms just raking in the medals, 890 to be precise. Why the UN published this, I don't actually know. But I guess the UN is kind of diverse. Maybe there's like a Muslim guy who's like, wait a second, this is kind of fucking wonky. So, and I assume that doesn't even include the ones that are like gender fucky, like that one tranny from like Morocco or some shit, where they're like, no, really, it's totally a girl. Here's a picture of her when she was a kid. And it's like, oh, are you sure that's not like an XXY tranny or some shit? No, totally, just real woman. So I'm assuming those ones don't even fucking count. Then, in a double whammy, the New York Post reported that a study conducted for $10 million, apparently, did not publish the results of a study that showed that puberty blockers had no impact on improving the mental health of transgender identifying children, specifically because he was afraid that the study would be weaponized against transgenders. So just read it. A doctor and trans rights advocate admitted she deliberately withheld the publication of a $10 million taxpayer-funded study on the effect of puberty blockers on American children after finding no evidence that they improve patients' mental health. Dr. Johanna Olsen Kennedy told the Kennedy Playboys told the New York Times that she believes the study would be weaponized by critics of transgender care for kids, and the research would one day be used in court to argue we shouldn't have used blockers. Critics, including the ones that Olson Kennedy's fellow researchers on the study, said the decision flies in the face of research standards and deprives the public of really important science in a field where Americans remain firmly divided. Dr. Johanna Olson Kennedy, who headed the 9-year study, 10 million study, 9 fucking years. This evil bitch tried with a fucking pronoun badge, tried to destroy 9 years and $10 million worth of work because she didn't like the fucking results. How do you not feel like the bad guy? Like, when I was in school, when I was in fucking Niceville, and I went to Niceville High School, I then was taught the scientific process where you state a hypothesis, you gather data, you test your hypothesis if testing is a part of it, and then you come to a conclusion based off the data. If it fits your hypothesis, then congratulations, you now have added information to the world in regards to, now it's a theory or something if there's no conflicting evidence. If it doesn't perfectly align with the hypothesis, then you refine your hypothesis and do it again. Nowadays, it's you state a fact. You find evidence for your fact. If your evidence for your fact does not align with your fact, simply destroy it, like like your book burning in Berlin in 1945. Like the Russians are knocking on your door. Just get rid of that shit. Who needs it? She kind of looks like, you know who she looks like? Jonathan Yanif. Can I pull that up? Can we do like a comparison? She got the Yanif phenotype. Oh, I like how Jonathan Yanif has a fucking Wikipedia page and it's a tranny. Or and it's Jessica Yanif. That's cool. Here, look. Just look at the side by side. Am I like face blind? She does have a more like slender nose, high cheekbones. I don't know. The sunken eyes too. Just kind of creeps me out. Kind of giving me that troon energy. For the National Institutes of Health funded study, researchers chose 95 kids who had an average age of 11 and gave them puberty blocking drugs starting in 2015. The treatments are meant to delay the onset of bodily changes like the development of breasts or the deepening of the voice. After following up with the youths for 2 years, the treatments did not improve the state of their mental health, which Olson Kennedy chalked up to the kids being in really good shape both when they started and concluded the 2-year treatment. However, the Times points out that her Rosie assessment contradicts earlier data recorded by the researchers, which found 1/4 of study participants were depressed or suicidal before receiving treatment. The research also does not support the findings of a 2011 Dutch study, which is the primary scientific research paper cited by proponents of giving kids puberty blockers. The study of 70 kids that found that children treated with puberty blockers reported better mental health and fewer behavioral and emotional problems. When asked by the Times why the results have not been made public after 9 years, she says, "I do not want our work being weaponized," adding, "It has to be exactly on point, clear, and concise, and that takes time." Sucks to suck. Should have lied more. Should have lied more, Mrs. Kennedy. Somebody found this video. I've talked about Kid Bandit before because he's associated with that fat guy that does the video game stuff and now hates video games. Shirling, that's it. James Stefanie Shirling. That's a really uncanny valley face. Oh, he dyed his hair. Anyways, this is the video. I've not actually seen it. So we're gonna scan through this together, hopefully. Maybe I should save it in case. You know how these things go. How long is that going to take? 165 megabytes, damn. Here's what I'll do. I'll move on and come back to this really quick because I got something to rant about. I did a stream years ago about someone named Bex Gerber. I subtitled my personal stream about this person with the name The Riot Games Ruiner. Bex is a female to male to female trans Jew who was basically ejected from Jewish identity. She was also denied her right to return to Israel because she's a convert, and she got very angry and started saying that she was upset the Jews didn't want her or something. But she eventually found a progressive Reformed synagogue willing to accept her as a convert. Uh, I think I can't remember exactly what it was. She's in like a polycule with like two gay retarded simps that she has total and complete control over because they are so unintelligent. I want to say there was a baby involved at some point. I want to say she got pregnant. Um, and now she goes by like non-binary pronouns. And she's largely credited with. I think there's a character in League of Legends that is based off of her. It has like bright green hair or some shit. But she was ousted from League of Legends for basically being toxic, and then she got super pissy about. Oh, she was like an archivist or something. Her job in the company was something really retarded. Like she just like handled the in-universe lore or something, which I think if I remember correctly, she handled the lore, and there was a point after she got fired where I'm pretty sure League of Legends completely and totally decanonized 100% of its lore. So they took their entire in-game universe that they had built up haphazardly over like a decade and just completely table dropped it after she was ousted from the company. Um so after she left League of Legends, I don't know what she's been up to besides faking being Jewish. And now she finally has a real job. She is the president of End Network Harassment. I think I talked about this last stream, but Liz Fong Jones has renamed End Kiwi Farms to End Network Harassment, which is just the same exact fucking thing, but now it's a incorporated entity. And Liz Fong Jones has hired Bex Gerber as president, and I believe he's the Liz is gay married to the snake tranny. But he's also in a polycule relationship with another tranny called Alexander Leal. I can't remember what Alexander does. I don't remember anything about him, but he's been around for a long time, and I think he's the treasurer of the organization. So Liz Fong Jones took my idea of setting up a 501c4 and has done so himself, and is now involved in the board of End Network Harassment. So, chat, this is why I said we got to be serious. Because Liz Fong Jones, I would like to one day give an update to you about the Australia thing, but I only have bits and pieces that I've heard through the grapevine. I don't have access. If anyone has access to, like, I think it's in Victoria. If you have access to the Victoria court records, and but I don't think any of this information is like public. So I just have like secondhand information, and I'm being intentionally kept out, even though it's a big pain in my fucking ass, basically. And it directly involves me. I'm not allowed to hear anything. So, one day I will be able to give an update, but not right now. But despite that, and despite the funds that we raised for the legal fund, um, he's still going to go for it. He's still going to try and destroy the Kiwi farms. And he's going to try to, as I predicted, he's going to try to destroy the Kiwi farms, not by a complaint vector. He's going to try and ruin the internet forever. He's trying to meet people who have direct associations inside the IEFT, inside the IANA. He's going to try to get networked into all the groups that are responsible for engineering the infrastructure level backbone of the internet, so that it is more difficult to host resilient content online. He's going to try to go for political changes as a non-resident immigrant from citizenship with Canada, Australia, and probably also secretly China, because China doesn't recognize dual citizenship. So he probably has a Chinese passport, but then also has a Canadian and Australian passport. But he's going to try to fuck with the U.S., and nobody else seems to care. except me, and the only reason why I care is because he's been after me for like 5 fucking years now. That happened. Um. So as I mentioned, there was a There's one person who has already agreed to be on the board. There's another person who has offered, and I'm strongly considering it. But you have to be careful. And then from there, I have to kind of develop a plan about what I want to do. And I've talked about my big four things. I want to diminish copyright, especially how it pertains to the internet. I want to enact net neutrality under a different name because net neutrality is like a poison term. But we basically need common carrier internet service providers. Um, I want to end financial censorship, which is payment processor stuff, and that could be done tomorrow if the OCC reenacted the thing they already passed. Oh, and the fourth that I've been thinking of that would probably help with the reputation of the entity is I think that consumer privacy rights should be a thing in every state. There's no reason for your telecom company to sell your address when you get a cell phone or whatever. There's no reason why your credit report should be flushed around to every fucking company that asks for it. There's a law in California called the CCPA, which is basically just like the private like consumer privacy, and it's very strong. And there's no reason why every state shouldn't have something like that. So those are my four pet projects, and if I once I'm settled back in the U.S., I'm going to very seriously explore how I can pursue that. Because the last one especially, I think you can get that passed everywhere. Because there are two laws, and this is an aside, but there are two laws that are tested. You have the CCPA for privacy in California, and then you have payment processor neutrality in Tennessee and Florida. And it's like if you can show a state that these other states already have these rules in the book, and they have a beneficial official action to the citizens, and you can get people in those states to support it, then you can get them passed in each state. And once that happens, then you have national coverage, right? It has like a domino effect. So that's my thoughts. These are the things that I think about while I play EU4 and destroy the Ottomans as the Papal States. Yeah, the CCPA is a good law. Um, I, I don't know the full details of it, but the taking information from credit reports being flushed around, like there's literally no reason for it. There's no reason why your electric company or the car dealership or your telecom company or your ISP should be selling your address and your phone number to marketers. Like, there's no fucking reason. Okay, Kid Bandit. I want to see Tranny wrestle. So, one thing I want to show from this is, this isn't even the fucking thing I want to show you. There's this advertisement for it. I think it's in the community happenings post. Oh, that's Leal, by the way. This guy is a fucking gimp. This gimp lives in like a 24/7. The binary vixen. This fucking gimp is like a chink tranny slave, a little slave boy. He's like the gimp in Pulp Fiction, and he's just a 24/7 fucking gimp. Okay, this is it. So there's Kid Bandit. There's the Stardust making his crazy Joker face. These damaged Joker face. And then what's weird is you have all these other guys that look like they're kind of like serious, but for some reason they're all playing pretend with these gay trannies. Maybe they're like pooners or something. It's hard to tell. They even have Mr. Beast. They have Mr. Beast in this. So I don't know what these grown men, unless some of them are pooners, are getting out of this experience where they're like playing wrestle with a fat tranny and like a gross retard tranny, but uh, that is what's happening here. And I want to go back. I think there's a timestamp for this. Okay. Joey appears. I don't give a fuck. About that. Jim appears at 20. Okay, I do want to see that. I want to see the Stardust, my favorite wrestler. Oh my god, there he is. I'm so excited. My favorite wrestler besides Horse John.
This match. Okay, they don't know I'm here. They don't know I'm here. I'll just. We know who it's gonna be. Just keep yourself.
He has his own intro animation and shit. This is like where all the Jimquisition money went. He stopped spending it on anything of value and just like hires people on Fiverr to create like wrestling intro animations for him.
Listen, I only have one thing to say about Stefanie, okay? We should be clapping. We should be clapping. Come on now. Dead Space is mid. Planet Tracker or like Jacob's Tracker. Jacob's Tracker.
Ew! Ew! I never wanted to see Jim Sterling kiss somebody. Ew. That's literally the first fucking time I've ever seen this person kiss somebody. It's a fucking blue-haired tranny. Disgusting, chat.
What are you talking about? I'm not sure you know what you're talking about. Wine and cheese. Get cheese, get wine. Okay. But that is, just to confirm, the final entrant in the Crown Cup match. Commander Stefanie Sterling makes their way to the ring. Don't let them do the YouTube thing.
Dude, this is like a high school gym or something. Look at all those frumpy retards in attendance. What the fuck? No, okay, so he said don't let him do a YouTube thing, so I guess he's gonna talk now.
Don't let them do the YouTube thing, no! What YouTube thing are they gonna do? Like YouTube internet famous people. Oh, right, and then we're doing that. No, don't cheer.
Dude, look at how packed in he is. That fucking latex.
Cheer for this. She just put her hand up. Come on.
No. Woo, Manchester. Anybody from Manchester, England in the chat? Let's see some hands. Manchester represent. We got enough people here. Some of you got to be from Manchester. Respect. Show some pride. Manchester. So this is like the actual official live broadcast of this, I guess. And it's like, do your guys not know how to like connect the XLR mic into both the overhead speakers and then also the live feed? Do you not have a tool that you can have two outputs at once? Because why the fuck am I listening to this from like the board camera mic for your fucking event? He's literally holding a fucking microphone. There's like sweat. There's like fucking bodily fluids on the camera. I can't hear what the fuck he's saying. And I can't see him because you got fucking spunk on the camera. What kind of event is this? Get a cleaning cloth. Camera B, you got cum on your lens.
I mean, you can tell they're dealing with the monologue before they get beaten. That's a very good point. That is a very good point. Spear him, Simon. Bandit, kick him. Kick him.
There's like as he's talking, there's like two people actually trying to do like fighting stuff. And like Jim is just like completely stealing his thunder. Is this like normal for for people to be doing the wrestling thing on the side and then everybody's just ignoring them in favor of the fat retard tranny like talking into a microphone that's not connected? Is anyone into indie wrestling that can confirm that that's typical? I am seeing some no's in chat. I don't know if these are verified indie wrestler enjoyers though. What's just wailing on him?
Yeah, just kill him.
In fact, even the announcers are trying to like narrate like what's happening on the side, and Jim's just like talking over them. Maybe that's why the mic can't be heard. Like they weren't expecting Jim to come in early and just start talking mid-fight, so they're like, wait a second, his mic's not even hooked up to the fucking broadcaster. Nobody can hear what he's saying on the internet. We're supposed to be looking at this. Oh my god, this Kid Bandit. Oh my god. We can tell it's Kid Bandit because it's got green fucking hair and love handles.
I'm sure death is a victory outcome. What if the gun's pink?
Oh my god.
If the
Gun
gun's pink, it's
punted.
gonna be trouble later on.
Oh, that's so weak sauce. That's like kids playing pretend fights. Like, come here, Goku. It's me, Frieza. I'm gonna punch you right in your tummy tum. It's like they're just like, it's like there's no impact from their punches at all. I guess their joke is supposed to be that he's insufferable. Like, he's interrupting the fight and he's insufferable, so they're just gonna like beat his ass together. But it's like, it's not working.
Yes. Choke slam. This could work out well for you, Ian.
But he's so big, he can double choke slam them. And he's doing like his damage. Oh my god, this is so cringe. He's doing his damage joke thing.
Oh, yo! He does even things up. Find the gun.
Oh no! Commander Stardust gave him the Huggerooski. No! Now they've been hugged. Oh no! Against their will.
Oh my word! Okay, excellent maneuver from Kid Bandit. Okay, Bandit, just come on. Bandit, just fight murder. Just murder. That's
Was that like a complete flub? Did he even make contact? It's like he completely... I guess he does touch him. I was like, from my perspective, it looked like he just stopped midair and fell. I'm like, oh my god, did they just completely flub that in the middle of the fight? Bro.
Beautiful drop kick from Kid Bandit.
Beautiful.
Simon Miller setting something up here. This could be spectacular. Oh no.
Oh my god, they're fucking up everything. Oh, dude, if you watch my Dustborn playthrough, there's a part where you can play the songs, and if you miss the D keys, Pax, the lead singer, just goes like, "There are damn it," like just starts like fucking up her lines and swearing. It's like watching that in real life.
Oh no, oh my god, through Simon Miller's back. That's what you get when you expose your back. You get chokes on the
Bro, this is so painful. And the two people that were like, they were like the guy in the corner of the cuck motel that's just like jerking off during the actual scene. They finished. They left. They're going out. They're gonna go get some tacos or something. They're done. We'll come pick up their wife after the fight.
This is gonna be phenomenal diving clothesline.
Oh no, wait, the cucks are back. Dude, I hate to say it, but like Jim is actually the best of those two guys. Like when the way that they interact and do shit, they're like terrible. Jim actually seems to do things like a little bit better. I mean, he looks better in comparison. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, Drake, that's the one.
Okay, Drake, can you do anything? Let's see what you got, buddy. No, you're just like jumping. He just like jumps next to him. It's so bad.
Catches HD Drake. Slams him down.
And then like just like that. Like watch. The little lad's gonna come down from the rafters. Oh, I'm jumping right next to you. Surprise. And then Jim's supposed to like grab him and do something back. But you see, like I mean, maybe it's just because he's so big, but there's like actual force when he hits them down and everything. Like, he just looks so much better than what the other guys are doing. I don't know if it's just because he's like fat or what.
Eliminated from this contest. Ian Skinner is laughing. You have got away scot-free with this, Skinner. Crime of the century.
He does it again. I may have to punch him myself.
I think if he does it again, there won't be anyone left.
Okay, hold up. So there's another part we're supposed to jump to. Jim gets pinned at 26:30. So let's do that. Let's do the pin. I want to see Jim get pinned. Here we go. Here's the pin scheme.
Goes for the cover.
And that's it. Commander Sterling is eliminated.
Oh, this guy's gay. This guy looks like the guy. You know that meme where there's like a gay man sitting at a bar smoking a cigarette, and there's like purple lighting, and there's usually like sad music playing because he looks so pensive. And it's like a scene from like a gay porn or something that someone took out of context. This guy looks like that guy. Okay. And what's his face at 32 minutes? That one. So this is like the finale of the entire series at this minute.
Into that cover, you are not going to keep someone like Kick Bandit down with a lackadaisical cover like that.
Oh my god. That guy's also a homosexual. What the? Oh wait, I want to see this kick. Ready?
Like Kick Bandit down with a lackadaisical cover like that.
Oh, that looks so real, bro.
Like Kick Bandit down with a lackadaisical cover like that.
Oh, bam, totally.
The big PK kick there from Skinner.
Brutal strike, and Skinner again. Skinner wants to win this match in true fashion.
Dude, his animation for kicking him looks like a fucking video game or something. It's like the zombies in Left 4 Dead 2 when one of the survivors is down and they're like just kicking or something. It looks so wonky.
Skinner now this series of kicks.
Oh, dude. Oh, that looks like it actually connected to his throat or something.
I'm not going to repeat the other words. Oh, Bandit with a kick of their own. Skinner goes for it. Oh, Bandit's got them up.
Dude, is it normal for like people to go to? There's a guy that was listening to the podcast a while ago and provided feedback. I asked about the indie wrestling stuff, and he got really insulted because it's like this shit makes indie wrestling look so fucking bad. I was gonna ask, like, is it normal for people to go to like indie wrestling circuits just to see how fucking bad everything is, like watching The Room or something? And I don't think that you're supposed to think it's terrible.
Here it is.
Oh my god.
No, giving them the piggyback Aruski into the slam. What? Wait, so I'm supposed to suspend my disbelief that this gay man just kicked the shit out of this fucking tranny like it was American History X, right? That's what they're supposed to say. And then Kid Bandit's just like, no, actually, I'm gonna bring my inner girl self out, and I'm gonna be super strong. And it goes from being kicked on the fucking throat to like doing the heckin' piggyback to down.
No.
And this is supposed to be like such a great hit that now it's like, oh, he's completely out. That was like a critical blow, 1,000,000 damage or something. And it's like, compared to the kicking and shit, that's fucking nothing. He just got a little piggyback ride and fell, took a tumble. And then he won. Everyone's cheering because it's over. Okay. So that's it. This is from 2022, in case you're wondering. So I'm just assuming that Jim Sterling just improved and improved from here, and until he won. But for some reason, they gave it to Kid Bandit this year. Don't try analyzing it. Well, from a purely, if I'm trying to like give him a benefit of a doubt, then I'm supposed to believe that those kicks were real. It's like the kicks, like he's kicking him in the gunt on the fucking ground. It feels like it would be a lot more than the piggyback ride. Sorry, wrestling fans, it's always been this guy. From 2022, why are we looking? Cause it just got found. The video of it just got discovered on the Kiwi Farm, so we're taking a little look-see, providing some insightful commentary. All right, chat. Times are hard. Moving back to the US. It's time for an ad break.
Whoa! Watch where you're going.
You watch where you're going.
No, you watch where you're going.
Move! Move! Move!
You want to do this?
Let's do it.
Okay,
then.
we'll see who moves.
Let's go then.
Okay, let's do it.
Launching! That's amazing!
JJ, you're a genius.
Okay, so that's the new advertisement from the Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and the KSI. KSI is a black man. I didn't know anything about him until he sang a song, and everyone was talking about how fucking stupid his song was on Twitter. Now I know who he is. Now he's also in the Mr. Beast, Logan Paul collaboration on the Lungeley or some shit. No. Let's talk about how dead and lifeless Mr. Beast's eyes look here. Like, he's supposed to look on the ground shocked. He just got hit. He's like, that's a man who can't feel anything anymore. The things that Amazon executives have made this man do in repentance for the various upsets that he's had in his career are so unspeakable that he can no longer feel joy. He can simply pantomime what other people are supposed to do when they feel those emotions. Like, look at Logan Paul. Like, Logan Paul's like, oh my god, that's so shocking. Meanwhile, Mr. Beast is like, I'm gonna go take a nap now, guys. Honk shoe, honk shoe. Look, he literally can't even open his eyes at all. They're like little slits. The weight, the weight of his sins crawling under his skin are so immense that his eyelids are just permanently half closed, regardless. Shame. The black guy had a gun? He doesn't have a gun. Where's his gun at? He's just sitting in a shopping cart. So, in the Mr. Beast realm, which I derive deep, what's the German one? Schadenfreude from watching him suffer because he deserves it. He had this little retard tranny on his fucking posse for years and said, "No, Chris isn't my nightmare. He's my heckin' friend." Now he's his nightmare, and I get to watch him suffer. This is a white woman, I think, reviewing his Lunchly things, or she's comparing them even directly to Lunchables. I think this is the scene. Let me see. That's a nice sink. Holy shit.
So let's open these up. Oh man, this packaging. I like that it just says epic ingredients. Epic? Well, we'll break it down. We'll see if these are epic ingredients. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a big... Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's get this going. Maybe I should open
it comes with the drinks? the Logan Paul drinks? I don't care about Lunchables. I know what the fuck a Capri Sun is, bitch. Okay, get to the part.
Mike, what do? Do I open them fully? Like put the food on the plate?
Have you never had a fucking Lunchable?
I think we should.
Okay. Yeah.
Just have it done, or is
Yeah.
taking it out part of it?
I think how would be the first. Is that the not version? Is that one?
These are molded.
No way.
Show it on camera.
Yeah, these are supposed to be good till December, and they're in the fridge.
These are, okay, so these ones are supposed to be good until December, and we just got them from the store. They're supposed to be good, it says used by December 8th, 2024, and they're...
Today's date say October 16th.
Okay, and today's date is October...
16th.
Yeah,
just said
and today's
16.
date is October 16th. So these are supposed to be good for like another 2 months. And right when I was opening these, because I thought, let's not just put them on the plate. Let's like put all the food on the plate just to see what they look like. I'm opening this.
So the mold.
That's mold. You guys,
Like a big
this
chunk
is...
of it. Okay, so then after this lady saw the mold and this went viral, this tranny called a crazy cow or a cozy cow or something, a silly cow, I don't know, some kind of cow. By the way, the Dextero article that I saw this from said something like she, her, and I'm just looking, I was like, that's a tranny. And then I pressed the play button and...
Oh, look at the bottom right here.
No way!
No way! Oh my god! This does not make my girl stick happy.
What? No, chat, that was actually mold. That's 100% mold. I'm so sorry.
The tranny can't even operate the fucking camera. This woman and or tranny had to do it for him.
Oh no, do you see it right there? Do you see it? Sealed and it's molded. What is this? I'm not lying, dude. Don't open it yet. Don't open it yet. That is 100% mold. No way, dude.
He's explicitly went out of his way to try to defend Mr. Beast, so he could be the new Chris Tyson or something. He can be the new tranny on the Mr. Beast team.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Number 22.
That has to be a tranny. There's no fucking way. He passes way better, but like the voice is a fucking train wreck.
Oh no.
22 Lunchlies in.
All right, I gotta record it. All right, so unfortunately on our 22nd Lunchly, we did find mold in a sealed package.
There you go. Sucks to be Mr. Beast. All those kids, Jimmy. You'll never forget. You'll never forget them. This is a product from Destiny's co-host. I figured I'd do this live on stream. Why not? Have a little bit of fun. Destiny's co-host Dan makes a new website called TwitchOrTrrist, and I believe the name of the game is I have to decide if a quote comes from a registered terrorist who is sanctioned by the United States government for being a terrorist or a Twitch streamer. So let's play. This is a product by Destiny's co-host. Israel only responds to violence. Israel only backs away to violence when they are forced to back away. I'm going to say Twitch. Correct. Oh, he even has clips from everything, so you can know it's Hassan.
Okay. Israel only backs away when they are forced to back away through violent retaliation. I think there was a terror attack as well. Like there was I think like a shooting attack inside of Israel as well. I don't know if it was in coordination. It probably.
So now you know. These are all real. You are a bloodthirsty, violent pig dog. That's a Twitch streamer for sure. Let's see it. Also Hassan.
Do you think the Israeli state was just like peacefully coexisting, and then these guys came in with?
For its own good, America should leave Saudi Arabia. That's a terrorist. Osama bin Laden. Hey, nice. United States should be held responsible at the end of the day for the 9/11 the same way the people say Israel should be held responsible for the attacks on October 7th. That sounds... See, the thing is that the Twitch streamers are all going to sound like unhinged retards, and the terrorists are going to sound like politicians. I'm thinking this is a terrorist. Oh, I'm wrong. Oh my god. It's Ethan Klein. Oh boy. First it was Gaza, then it was Lebanon. Next it's the rest of the world. They own America, they own Europe, they control information porn, Hollywood, banking, or in your favorite CEO. Israel's just getting started. Resist. Let's switch. Sneeko! The Palestinian Holocaust happening. This is the Palestinian Holocaust happening. Probably Twitch. Capri Sun Poppy. We are against the American system, not its people. Terrorists. Osama bin Laden. I was going to say that sounds from... I remember reading that. I read the Osama bin Laden thing. I remember that line. The only solution is a Palestine state from river to sea. That's Twitch. Wrong! Oh my god. Who's this? Who the fuck is this? Is this I'm supposed to fucking know who this is? Ibrahim Rassi. Okay. So long as there is imperialism in the world, a permanent peace is impossible. It's a terror. Hassan Nasrallah. Relative peace for who? That's a terrorist. What? Hassan. Oh my god. Sorry. I thought this would be like an excerpt from like a manifesto. Relative peace for Israel that we're living inside the apartheid. I don't care enough. Those who elected Hamas in Palestine did so on the basis of its political platform, Twitch. Fuck. Dude, this is hard. Peace cannot be unilateral. Terrorist. This guy again. And I support terrorism as long as it is against the United States government and against Israel, because you're more than terrorists. You're the ones who invented terrorism and are using it every day. You are liars, butchers, and hypocrites. Twitch. Fuck. Ramsey Yosef. That must be one of the hijackers. Dude, I'm bombing this shit hard. We are honest because of our Islamic background, and we are the only group that's actually resisting against the Israel apartheid. Terrorists? Oh, I can't do it. You can't tell the difference, chat. I'm being felted by destiny. The execution that will carry out all Zionists. Photo of a man dead on the pike. Ooh, that's Twitch for sure. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Dan Clancy? Oh, it's Ethan Klein?
He said, this is, I think if we're, why am I held accountable for some random fucking
Because you platformed him. How fucking hard is that?
Son Piker, yes. If they're Muslims, they call them terrorists. If they're white, they call them mentally ill. If they're Israeli, they call them our greatest ally. Which? That one's easy. Down with Yahud. Down with the Yahud terrorists. Ah, fuck! Is Destiny trying to be friend H?
Down
Oh, it's
with the Yahud! Down with the...
Dude, Sneeko is fucking ugly. Can't imagine anyone liking this. What? Oh, I lost my play. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Okay. How many more are there? I'm only on 18. I'll do up to 20. Every single person with eyes to see can recognize what is the reality that is unfolding in Gaza and Lebanon. Every single day, Israeli is killing hundreds of people, burning babies, burning teenagers with American munitions. Probably terrorists. God damn it. Israel has been bloodthirsty and acting bloodthirsty forever. Twitch. Who's this?
Israel has been bloodthirsty
Quan.
and you know.
Okay. There you go. I got half of them wrong, which means that wait. Oh, this is the 20th. America deserves a million January 6th. Twitch? That's how. Okay. So, after 20, I got 12 correct, which means I'm just barely above random guessing. It's very difficult. If you want to play it, go for it. It's called TwitchOrTrrist.com. Cool. And then there is Tim Pool. Actually, this is the wrong post. So I'll read this post and then I'll try to find the timestamps. Hires a bunch of stoner skateboarder friends because they're just fun to hang out with and they're cool. Is surprised when work isn't getting done. Refuses to admit any fault of his own and how this has turned out. Tim Pool. Tim Pool. I hate that fucking guy. Tim Pool is threatening to shut down his stream. And I don't know if this is like kayfabe or what, but from what I understand. Sorry, I'm gonna have to find the fucking time. Did he delete this? Oh, it's a fucking song. Sorry, I think someone might have even posted this in the Math Internet thread. I'll have to go back and. Basically, he's complaining that he has to do that he has to do all the work himself, and he's throwing the rest of his staff under the bus. Basically, he's saying that they don't do any work, that they're making lots of money, but it's only because he's doing everything himself, and the other people in his office aren't pulling their own weight. And he doesn't seem to realize that he's like the CEO of his company, and he can fire whoever the fuck he wants. So it's like, there's no point complaining if you're not going to do anything about it. Like, he's in total and complete control. Was this it? I think this guy is it. Flippable. Okay, let's just watch some of it. Have some fun, chat. This may be the last Timcast in real life. Tim has David Landau, comedian and partner with Garrett, whom both escaped Steven Crowder's orbit to make their own show. Raymond is the only co-host. Hannon could have been on the show, but he did not want her there. Throughout the episode, Tim cast aspirations on the work ethic of his employee, but does not name anyone specific. Based upon context, you can infer whom he means. Particular ire seems to be dedicated to the sideshow as well as the other projects. The running issue Tim has is that he's not good at personnel management and cannot or will not delegate authority to someone to oversee these numerous projects and ventures. Tim repeatedly states how an organization needs a CEO whom is not hosting the show, yet has made no moves over the past few months to find one. When the panel proposes it, Tim says he would not want to work in an environment and would rather cast in real life with all his friends' work aside. Okay, take a listen. This one I'm gonna play. Am I doomed myself? Am I doomed to wander the doomed earth that I have created? Kiwi Farms. I don't have much expectation. I expect you to work. It's not working at all. Like, is there like an issue? Yeah, there's like an issue. Hold up. Let me try restarting my VPN with a different thing. Okay, now it works. Oh, it was my VPN. Okay, great. So, chats, represent, say stuff. Make sure that this is working. Great, excellent. Well, it just is. Can't even fucking believe it. I'm gonna be real with you. Okay, I guess I'll just come back to it because I have the Rekieta stuff, and then I'll try to go back to that later and talk about it. So first, I showed the video of Patrick Melton yesterday, and his suffering. He apparently is getting a restraining order filed against him by Aaron Imholte, and in regards to his kids because of all the statements that Patrick Melton made. He was the one that I played. It was like a 3-minute clip set to weird music, where he was saying really gross shit, in particular about Aaron Imholt's kids. Apparently, he's getting a restraining order filed against him by Aaron, so now he's trying to go dark, which is unfortunate because he could have gotten onto Juju's show if he really tried, but he's given up. I guess he's given up. Nick Rekieta has gotten into a slap fight with Brianna Wu, of all fucking people. Brianna Wu posted this picture saying, "Good morning to my fellow Zionists. Let's make it a good one." And then there's a picture of Princess Peach holding, I can't remember, might be an AR-15 in front of the Israeli flag, covered in blood. And then it says, "Excited to announce I have retained the best lawyer in the business, Rekieta Law, in case Nintendo sues me." Nick Rekieta is unparalleled in legal mind, and a legal mind of the highest caliber. He's higher than all the lawyers on Nintendo staff. So for no reason whatsoever, Brianna Wu has decided to start making fun of Nick Rekieta. Nick Rekieta responded by saying, "Good dad joke, probably from when you were a man." Wu replied saying, "How much cocaine did you do to come up with that one?" Then Rekieta goes back and forth and says, "I used your testosterone levels as a guide," which doesn't make any sense as a reply. Completely nonsensical. Wu says that's not true because I don't make any testosterone, and you've done so much cocaine that your children get high too. I might be a filthy tranny, but I've never endangered my own child to the point where the state is going to take them away. Rekieta Law says, "Neither did I," implying that they're not taken away already. Brandon Wu says, "Well, that's not what the drug tests say. Maybe just raging cocaine addiction runs in the family." Rekieta says, "You know less about drug testing than you do about having a penis." And Brandon says, "That's definitely true, but I do know just enough to not give a child cocaine. I'm willing to adopt, and I'm giving them a loving cocaine-free home." That's kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of like, I'll adopt your fucking kids, and I'll do a better job Oh, is it stable now, chat? Chat? Is it stable now, chat? Okay. Right. Let's see. Since we're in fucking downtime mode, can I get the Nick Temple shit to work? On the fucking cards? No, it's still not. God, I can't fucking believe that. The internet just completely shit out, and now I'm... If, there was a part of the site that had, a bunch of timestamps for the Tim Pool stuff that I completely fucking lost. And for whatever reason, the videos in this are not loading at all. If you know where that is, please link to it on the Kiwi Farms thread. Or the, thing. Unpause it. Okay. Anyways, the Nick shit. So what he did afterwards, this is where he's at, like, relatively, is that Rekieta has still not streamed. So after he lost the Frank's hearing and was preemptively denied raising any further motions, he's just kind of like slunk off and like occasionally zeets, and then he shows up in this guy's chat called Zumock. I have never fucking heard of this guy. I have no fucking idea who Zumock is. But he's like a fucking LawTube streamer or some shit. Like, literally, no fucking idea who he is. But then Rekieta shows up, and he starts super chatting this guy to argue with him. He says, for $20, I've never heard of you before. Aaron talked about me as if you mattered. You never ever will to me. But holy shit, did you damage his brain. Then he says for 10, Lamau, you think you can embarrass me? You're an amateur at embarrassing me. I'm the best. And then for 5, he says, the only reason I know you is Aaron Imholte. They had further messages that they pulled from the live stream. And he says, why would let's see, is this in the right order? Yes. Why would I take you to court? I'd say the same thing if I was you. And then he says, I would say the same thing about me. My pasture, asking for clips, raffle, tattoos. Are you the 16-8? Have you had your Centrum Silver? Just see how you do, then figure it out. You need to try harder. Lamau, let the government take your kids for a bit and then pretend someone like Chad can hurt you. Find the unedited clip of that speech and listen to me praise her. I live those kids more than anything on the planet, always have. Lamau, I've never neglected my kids, brother. The truth will always set you free. So he's in the chat of like some random fucking guy, literally nobody has ever heard of, besides like 1 or 2 people on the forum, right? And then he's paying money. He paid this guy $35 fucking to talk to him, just to whine about his misconceptions about him or some shit. Rekieta is now in such a low place that he has to like pay people to acknowledge him in chat. Like he's no longer even... like people won't even just talk to him on their own anymore. He has to like financially compensate them for their time to even be worth it. That's fucking sad. Like, I remind you, there was a point where Rekieta was... Sorry, I got a fizzy water. Rekieta was so on top of the game that his 100,000 concurrent live viewer streams had a panel of lawyers, accredited bar associates, on a panel on live stream for like 8 hours at a fucking time for free. He was so popular, lawyers would donate their time to sit next to him on live stream. And now Rekieta in 2024 has to pay people $35 to even get his chat messages read. That is what fucking happens. That is the downfall. It's gonna make a really interesting downfall video one of these days. Josh, he is a lawyer and it's the business. I mean, yeah, I understand what they're doing. I'm not confused about that. I'm just saying that they were willing to associate with him for free. Lawyers are pretty hard to get to do anything for free. Then, not to be one-upped and being cringe, this is April Imholte. She posted to her Instagram and TikTok this lovely tattoo. It's a Valkyrie, and she got it because Nick Rekieta's nickname for her is Valkyrie. Now, I'm not like a tattoo person, and I'm not going to say that I could do better. I don't like it. I'll put it like that. I'm not going to say, like, oh, the art's bad. I'm going to say it like this. I think it's ugly. I wouldn't get it. Now, there's two different... I actually thought about this before the stream, and I was thinking I should make a joke about this. But then I came up with two different jokes, so I'm going to play both of them. You ready? The first one is, I'll just say it. So April told Rekieta, you better buy me a $4,000 sleeve tattoo so that you can't ever not see it, and so that anytime Kayla sees me, she's going to know that you're dropping like tens of thousands of dollars to buy me presents still. Or, alternatively... Rekieta got the tattoo for her because it's really ugly, and he wants to make her uglier so that she can never leave him. No, I'm debating, but I'm leaning that's funnier if Rekieta is like intentionally giving her bad tattoos so that she looks like Anisa Joma, and then nobody will ever fuck her again. So she doesn't have a choice. She has to stay with him. He's the best that she can do. And this is the most interesting stuff this stream is going to be the two filings. First, this is Kayla's filing. Kayla is not being processed the same as Rekieta. They are two different defendants, so they get to make their own motions. Now, Rekieta fucked up his motions and lost all of his rights to raise certain defenses. Kayla has not. So Kayla's attorney has asked for a motion to suppress and a motion to dismiss. And she's going to say that suppressing all evidence, statements, and confessions as a result of the state's unlawful search of the defendant's home as the result of a defective search warrant. The search warrant was defective because it was based on insufficient probable cause to believe a controlled substance would be found in the residence. So this is a much different angle than what Rekieta did, where Rekieta saying, no, the JPEGs are wrong. You can see the backyard internet logo. This is altered. That's fucking gay and retarded. This is a little bit more reasonable. It feels like a long shot, but it's more reasonable. Where they're just saying that, sure, he might have seen what looked like cocaine on Rekieta's nose, and sure, he might have heard stories that there was cocaine in the house. But just because Rekieta was drunk on stream does not mean that he had probable cause to raid the home and get drugs. Sounds like a long shot to me, but it's less fucking retarded and less... like, you can tell with Rekieta's stuff that he thinks he's a genius and he's going to find, like, some technical workaround to ever being held accountable for breaking the law. And then Kayla is, like, fighting within the system because her attorney's not a fucking... is not himself. Is not Rekieta. So it's more grounded. So that's what they filed. And then on Rekieta's side, this came in just today. So you listening to this are probably hearing this for the first time. This is the breaking news. Rekieta filed for something called a petition for discretionary review. You've never heard of a petition for discretionary review. In a federal appellate court, it's called an interlocutory appeal. And it basically means that he wants to file an appeal for the Franks hearing. I predicted this, even though lawyers told me that doesn't make any sense. Because let me explain, and it doesn't make sense to a lawyer, but it makes sense to me, and I'll explain. It would probably make sense to you, but this filing is actually retarded in a way that you don't really understand. I had somebody explain it to me. You know who. So an interlocutory appeal is an appeal that interrupts a proceeding and pauses it until it's concluded. In Minnesota, it's called a discretionary review, and it's called a discretionary review for an important reason I will circle back to. So usually what happens is, if there's an issue in a criminal proceeding, what you want to do is you want to complete the entire criminal case. And then, once the criminal case is completed, you can then file an appeal, and that appeal usually handles everything. So everything you have a grievance with during the entire criminal process is handled at that appeal after the sentencing. An interlocutory appeal is what they call an unfavored motion because it interrupts proceedings, which the courts never want to do, and handles only one thing at a time. And also, if you are found innocent, well, there's no fucking point to having an interlocutory appeal because you're innocent. There's nothing to worry about. So it's like, why even bother interrupting the case before it's concluded to trial? Because you might get off anyways. So let's just wait and then handle it later. There's a couple instances where you want to do an interlocutory appeal in a criminal case, as it was explained to me. The first is usually the state files it. If, for instance, if the judge had actually granted Rekieta's stupid-ass Franks hearing and said, oh, okay, the case is dropped then, the state can then file an interlocutory appeal because the case is over if they lose that Franks hearing, basically. And then the Minnesota Appeals Court would actually review if that granting was correct and then could possibly overturn it and put the evidence back into play. And then you would have to go to court anyways. The other case is if double jeopardy. If you've been found innocent already, and then they try to convict you on a similar crime related to the same incident, that's double jeopardy. And you don't actually want to go through trial because that would be punishment in and of itself for something that you're constitutionally protected from. So it makes sense to file a interruptive appeal that would stop the proceedings because you've already gone through it, right? So those are the two instances where you file this. Rekieta has filed this completely incorrectly. It's technically he has the right to, but in the justice system, they call this an unfavored motion, where it's like they don't want you to do this because they don't want to deal with it this way. They have a way that they prefer to do it, and if you go out of your way to file something like this, you better be fucking right. You better have a fucking reason for it. Rekieta doesn't. So I want to point out that this is actually really sloppy and shitty, and a lot of this feels copy-pasted. There's a font change right here, and it's really obvious that everything following Pomplin below is copied from another document, and my suspicion is that they copied a lot of the actual Franks hearing paperwork into this. So this is original for the what's it called? The discretionary review, and then this is copy pasted from the Franks hearing, which was already denied, which is kind of a bad sign that you're just going to reiterate everything that you already got denied for and not change anything, because it's like you already lost so it doesn't bode well for you. And then so this is all shit that I've already gone over before. This is back to the original font, so I know that this is the copy pasted section and this is the new stuff, but they basically just say that they reiterate they fucked all that up. There are some paragraphs on this that are light gray as opposed to black, and that also makes it look like it was being copy-pasted from something else. These citations are wrong, by the way. Citing no, not that one. The thing where they say, a more perfect Reich, citing Steel Toe Morning Show. So that's not how you cite evidence in a case, but that's how they chose to do it. So the word Reich appears in this document approximately 10 times, and I find that funny on a personal level. But a lot of this is all just reiterating the exact same shit we've already read, that he believes that Officer Pomplin lied to the judge and received a search warrant that he would not have received if he did not lie, and his lie was that he saw the original video, and there's specific terminology that they're quibbling over that only makes sense if you take that paragraph out of context, because he uses the same language in the above paragraph, and it makes perfect sense what he's saying. And then knowing how he uses those words in the second paragraph, it makes perfect sense what he's saying there. And the only way it has any ambiguity is if you take it out of context, which is why the judge explicitly said when he denied the Franks hearing that there was no ambiguity, specifically because of that. Like, exactly what I said is what ended up in the denial. So they're going to force the appeals court judge to read the search warrant, realize that it's a very competent search warrant, and then maybe even watch the video of Rekieta fucked out of his mind, and then deny him again. Now, here's the other thing. Here's the big deal, by the way. the petition is called, it's not called an interlocutory appeal in Minnesota, it's called a discretionary review, which is an important word because it is, as it's called, discretionary. And what does that mean? It means that there's not a formal process for this. It's not a checklist. You say, okay, well, this appeal has A, B, C, therefore we're going to look at it. It's 100% discretionary to the point where the judge could absolutely say, you know what, I think you're right. This Frank's hearing should have gone ahead. In fact, I think that search warrant should have been thrown out. But no. They can literally say, I think you're right, but we're not going to use our discretion to give you this. Wait until after your trial and then file it as an appeal like a normal person would. So it's completely up to the judge. It's like 2 layers of extraordinary. Like, it's an extraordinary thing to file an interlocutory appeal. It has to be like they're really trampling your civil rights. And then it's extraordinary to file a Frank's hearing. And then it's also extraordinary to go for a discretionary review. So my thought is that Rekieta came up with this, went to his attorney, who then put associate attorney Brian K. Lunas. It's not Francis White. This is the associate attorney. So he put the low end of the totem pole in this one. And then Rekieta pitched his idea for a discretionary review because his rights are totally heckin' being trampled on. And Francis White asked him, do you have your deposit? And then Rekieta says, yeah, we're totally selling the house. I put another reverse mortgage on it that I'm totally going to pay off once it sells. I got your deposit. And then Francis White was like, okay, we'll file your discretionary review. And this is what we now have in front of us. It is a very, very desperate motion. And like I said, the main thing is I expected him to appeal, but the thing that I didn't know is that you're not supposed to appeal a criminal case until after you're convicted. They don't like it when you try to appeal things as they're proceeding. So that's the discrepancy there. But he's totally going to epically own this, chat, one day. Great. So that's the cool Rekieta law update is in the shit. And my hero, Terrific, has come through with the links for the Tim Pool stuff. Let's see this. Awesome. Watching Tim Pool, definitely what I want to do. This may be the last Timcast IRL. Okay, so let's start at 4701.
Well, put Raymond in charge, and you won't have to say much anymore.
With all due respect, though, I don't think, and it's not personal.
Yeah.
I just think everyone feels that they could, and then they can't.
I've done it. It's my history. It's my job
also
history.
feels personal.
So you don't know my job history.
It feels personal. It's you, Raymond.
Yeah. No, but you don't. You just think I'm a fan. You don't know my previous jobs or what I've done in my life.
No, I believe you.
So
I'm just saying, like, you wanted to get it done, and you handed off the paperwork, and then didn't know what happened next.
Yeah, I waited.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if you're in charge of it or not. That happens unless I, with executive authority, go around to everybody and say, round it up. Raymond said, buy the screen, buy the screen.
So throughout this entire interview, he's complaining that his employees don't do enough. That's why they summed it up like he has a bunch of like stoner retard friends that he hires to be friends with, and then they don't do any work because they're not expected to. And then he's like upset that no work gets done.
And don't want to be there. I don't want that.
That's the worst kind of leadership. You don't.
But I think that's all companies.
No. You don't have to do. But well, I guess it's always fear of getting fired. But
I mean, Hitler.
You have a good leader. Leads from the front.
People love that guy. That was scary.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like the people who the Nazis terrifyingly worshipped a guy who was out of his mind.
I would like to go one day of my life without hearing about fucking Germany or the Nazis or Hitler. Just one day. One fucking day of my existence I'd like to go without hearing about Adolf Hitler. He's been dead for fucking how many goddamn fucking years? Like 80 fucking years. He's fucking dead. Can we get over the existence of Adolf Hitler, please, as a species? The Africans have managed. They've never even heard of World War II. Why the fuck do I gotta keep hearing about it all the goddamn time?
What am I not doing effectively?
Of course.
Sure.
And at a certain point, I'm Sisyphus pushing up a rock with a bunch of people sitting on it.
Yeah, because they don't have that same.
This guy's like, I'm Sisyphus because I work a job and get paid for it. Wow. I guess everybody's their own little Sisyphus, huh? We're all little pushing up boulders and shit. Like, sure, I don't think Sisyphus got paid for it. I think it was a punishment that he was compelled to do. But Tim Pool, having millions of dollars and running one of the most profitable entertainment franchises on the fucking YouTube, he's basically a tortured soul if you think about it.
I don't see they don't have that same passion.
And I'm not trying to disrespect people sitting on the rock. You know.
Well, yeah, if they're sitting on the rock, you want to.
You want them to. They should at least tell you where the rock's going, or maybe they're not pushing it, but they should do something.
There is a hill if you keep going.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's not true because I'm Sisyphus.
Yeah, that's a fine push.
Tim, you had this issue like a year ago, I think, because I remember I super chatted like, "Yo, you're not the only one pushing up the hill," because I was just a fan at the time. Now that I'm here in person, but
Is that guy drinking from a tumbler that says Manly on it instead of Stanley? Is that where we're at? Is this the parallel economy? We got dude wipes. We got Manly tumblers. We got Black Rifle coffee. Like, is this it? Is this where, like, okay, are we gonna do payment processors? Are we gonna do cryptocurrency? Are we gonna like circumvent bank levels? No. Manly tumbler. Okay. Well, I was just checking. I'm not salty or anything. I was just checking, make sure that we're actually this is the actual plan. This is what all the brightest conservatard minds came up with.
Failing consistently over the past few weeks, and we lack the capability to have anybody with. There's no initiative, nor interest.
Have you guys ever seen this guy in his wedding picture? He's like wearing a suit and he's still wearing a fucking beanie. Have you guys ever seen that picture?
Nor talent to complete the job to make sure the studio operates. If that's where we're currently at, I've got to just shut it all down, because that's like. If I can't film myself, I don't have a company.
Right.
And so if I rely on other people to run these things, and I wake up in the morning and I can't complain about the Democrats insulting Donald Trump working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here being like, I'm looking at all of these posts and people are saying things and I'm like, no, you got that wrong because this article says this. Like, I can tweet about it.
That's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
No.
And so then I'm like, okay, should I go right now and just build a new studio? I've got computers and microphones. I could just do it myself. And I'm like, well, we're not doing IRL if that's the case.
Right.
There's no way I'm going to, and I can't do boonies if that's the case.
So
none of this is going to.
I've seen a couple Timcast episodes. There's a guy on it who's particularly insufferable. The best guy, I don't know if he even shows up on Timcast anymore. It's like a Polish guy, and he's like a proper libertarian. He's pretty smart. I've actually tried reaching out to him, and he ignores me, so fuck him. But he's probably the best of like Tim Pool's entourage. And then there's this guy called Ian. He looks like Weird Al Yankovic, but is like a retard. He's like a proper like brain fried hippie retard. And apparently someone told, Luke, he's the best one. So then Ian, like this fucking mongoloid. And apparently somebody told him that everybody at Timcast was about to get fired, so he like shuffles into the room real fast and interrupts their conversation about how they're going to fire all these hippie retards. There he is. Hey, nice sweater, bro.
Hey, what's up, dude?
He must have just turned in.
Drinking bong water out of a mayo jar. That's nice.
And heard what's going on,
man. Were you sleeping the whole time?
Okay.
Dave.
Michael Landau.
Highway to heaven.
You need a microphone, Ian.
My brother's name is Michael, though, so that was
Dave Landau.
Yeah.
Were you asleep?
I was. I thought Hannah Claire and Seamus were going to be here, so I was like, well, I guess it's a full house. I'll take the night off.
Half-ass it.
Dude, I was having a dream that I was playing music with Nick Fuentes, man. This song was like, hey, do you know who I am? I just woke up, but
Ian's worried he's going to miss
good.
the last one.
I was dreaming of this song with Fuentes, and he was great.
Yeah.
And then
Nick
I logged
Fuentes.
on, and I was like, well, I'm quitting the show. And I'm like, no, we got to just change the format. We got to play
For some
music.
reason, I just confused Nick Fuentes with
What's going on? Ian realized that Tim was about to fire everybody and stop the show, and then he wouldn't be able to buy weed anymore, so he shuffled into the studio and started screaming. That's what happened.
That's the way we do it.
Jam, dude. How you guys doing?
Well, so we're doing
Great to
super
see you,
chats,
dude. Good to see
and
you,
my
man.
point is, if I do one show, and it consolidates viewership, gets more reach, and allows me to focus better, then maybe that's a better way to go about doing it.
I've been thinking we got.
He's like, he's so weird. It's like you can't hire anybody to do what you do. He really thinks that like he's the key to all of this. Nobody else can set up a studio where 3 people talking to microphones and then it gets published to the internet. Nobody can do that. You know how hard that is, chat? Only Tim Pool. Underneath that beanie, he can't take it off because his brain is actually so big, it ripped through his skull and it's exposed. Kind of like Mojo Jojo from the Powerpuff Girls. And if he took off that beanie, he would die. He would fucking die. His skin actually fused to the beanie, and there's nothing but soft brain under it because he's so fucking smart, chat. So don't question him. He's the only person that can do this. Is there anything else in this that's funny? He can fire bomb. Okay, I want to see that. I want to see if Ian shits himself when he says that.
No, there's been a bunch of pitches like we should do.
Cool with the Collins, right?
What?
It's the Collins, yes. I'm just
Yeah, in
making
5
sure.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so like one method is like the GE method. I think it's where every quarter you fire the bottom 10%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's actually a great idea. I like it.
Yeah, and so it's basically
That's why I hate
like
unions.
we're gonna say this job has to get done. If it doesn't get done, we're adding that we're writing it down in a file. At the end of the quarter, whoever has the most misses you're out.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like,
harsh reality of business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who wants
man,
to...
you're fucked. The thing is, though, it's like, okay, sure. The instruction is you fire 10% of the worst employees you have. Okay, makes sense. How do you measure that, bro? He says he's going to keep it in a record somewhere. Are you going to do that? Are you going to sit there and create some objective standard for measuring performance that you can keep, and you're going to keep record of it? And then once a quarter, you're going to fire your bottom 10%. Are you really going to manage that? Like, his whole shtick is that he has, like, a team of, like, however many people, 10 fucking people, and he can't, like, manage it himself. But he thinks he's going to create some sort of fucking objective standard for firing people and go through that. And it's like, you can't manage, like, a team that's... Your employee count is smaller than my fucking Whataburgers, and you can't manage it. How are you gonna create your GE standard, bro? Come on. He has 30 people. Yeah, my Whataburger had more. It was a pretty big Whataburger, man. Now I got respect for my manager, man. I know his struggle. He's sitting there eating burgers, thinking like, God, am I really gonna fire these bums? Am I really gonna fire the bottom 10%? I think so. It's just gotta be done. He won't be able to be all smug about all the money he wastes on random shit, skates, parks, and I don't know. I feel like I could do it. Then again, I don't know. I can't. It's harder when you have volunteers, you know. Much more difficult because it's like maybe I should pay him. I don't really make that much money, but maybe like a little bit of money would like entice certain people to participate more in the forum and deal with shit I don't want to fucking deal with. Does that work, chat? How much is a Janny worth? How much is like... How many days are in a week? 7? I guess 5 or 7? You can't really expect people to do every day. Do 5 days a week. Then you need like $20 like for one day. Like log on once a day and do some shit for like an hour. Do like $100. Is that like an actual... How much does the average American make? Let me look. I'm having my 10 pull moment here. I need somebody I can yell at. How much does the average American make a year before taxes? $59,000? Really? That's a lot. What the fuck? I didn't realize it was so high. That's $5,000 a month. So $100 a week isn't shit, man. How the fuck am I gonna... Maybe I need to hire somebody who's not American. Who's not American that would be willing to work for a chump chain to help me? I'll do it for pizzas with Brogdon. Maybe Polish people. How much does the average Polish make before taxes? That's per month. 1,700 euros. What? 1,700 USD. $1,800 a month. How much is that? $21,000. That's it. I can hire a Polish person. Any Polish people want to moderate the Kiwi farms? That's it. I'm just going to outsource the entire Kiwi farms. All of our infrastructure, the entire corporate entity, everything's going to fucking to Poland. I'm just going to pick a random village in Poland, and there's going to be a giant Kiwi farms warehouse there. Like a giant Amazon warehouse with a giant Kiwi farms logo all lit up on it. That's what we're doing. Okay, I'll figure this out later. Sorry. I'm randomly musing how to administrate my empire. It's very difficult. I kind of feel Tim Pool, but the thing that Tim Pool has that I don't fucking have is he has like unlimited income to do whatever the fuck he wants with. It's like if I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, I would have a lot more leeway in terms of how I decide to pay people. Okay. Hire moderators that don't speak English. You know what? I don't think anyone would have an issue with that. Yeah, dude, Indians can't do anything. I learned recently that Indians that are the what are their name? Gypsies. They're from India originally. Did you guys know that? Imagine this. Here's a thought experiment for you all, chat. Thousands of years ago, a caravan of Indians arrive in Romania and become the gypsies, a blight on all society for hundreds of years thereafter. Millions of Indians are imported into the United States and Europe and Canada. Now, what do you think is going to happen as a result of this over hundreds of years? Do you think we will ever recover? We have created like Mecca gypsies. Real. We'll never recover from this. The gypsy menace will be here forever now. It's over. It's so fucking over. We were fighting with our black bros and our Asian bros, and we should have been fighting the Pajit menace the entire time. Dude, they're gonna redeem the entire fucking West. It's already Look, you think that because we have the smallest penises on the planet Earth that we are not going to take over your countries and use our nepotism to provide jobs only for ourselves? That is why you have failed, Whitey. That is why the Indian household in the United States makes $110,000, because we sleep 8 to a room and we all have the Sigma grind set. I have side gigs on Uber. I have side gigs on I work for a Fortune 500 tech company, and I also have side gigs with Uber, and I also what are the other thing? Oh, and I have a TikTok channel that makes $10 a month. I post hot memes, hot dank memes. I find a viral post on Hex, and then I post hot dank memes as replies to every single one of the messages, and this generates me $20 a week. This is why the Indians are so rich and you are poor, because we have the work ethic. My brother in Bangladesh, he scams old people and makes $80,000 a week in Walmart gift cards. Okay. I have a fucking Reddit segment. My first job working IT, it was literally that. They had an idea for a company, and what they did is they just hired I'm saving the images now, but I'm just thinking. They hired an Indian company, and literally 100% of the work that we did during the entire time that I was there, or rather for like half the time I was there. Like for real, there was a tech startup in Australia, and they had an idea for this niche in the market that they wanted to fill, and so they hired Indians to do it. And after they did, it took them 1 month. And they paid them a pittance, like a couple $1,000s for an entire product in 1 month. And for the remainder of the time that I was there for 3 years, everything that we did, which was then like a team of like 6 people by the time I left, everything that we did revolved around taking old Pajit code and fixing it. because there were certain things that where the bosses had promised features in their code base to a customer. Like the customers would ask the guy and be like, so does your software, does it account for this recent regulation? Does it handle an integration into this third-party API? And without any thought about what the fuck that means, because he didn't know anything about the back end, he just said yes. And then he would come back and say, we got a deal. They're paying us a lot of money. This is a really big customer, and we need this API integration, and we need this feature in 2 weeks. And we would be like, okay, so the Pajit code doesn't work that way at all. We're going to have to really bust our fucking asses. And there was one deal in particular that I remember as vividly as day, because it was like the most productive I've ever been in my entire life, before or after this day. There was a big customer, the biggest we've ever had, and they needed something that couldn't be done without a complete rewrite of the core product, or the core product that every single customer used. And it was the oldest part of the code base. It was the original thing that they paid $1,000 for a team of Pajits to write in 1 month, and it was dilapidated. It barely fucking worked, and we could not get it to work for the big customer without a complete rewrite, for future thinking it. And me and the other guy, the guy that got me the job, I woke up at like 6 a.m. and went to a Starbucks, and I got my Trenta iced coffee, no sugar, extra milk, or extra cream. And we sat on like Skype, because this was the time, and I worked from 6 until they literally closed and told me that I had to leave, and we did this like 2 different days in a row, and I worked all fucking day. And then I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I went to Starbucks, and I worked all fucking day again. And we were just talking constantly, and we were like in this perfect autistic synchronicity. And we somehow rewrote the core product in 2 fucking days, and it was there, and it was fine by the time I left. And I'll never ever be that productive ever again for the rest of my life. I don't know how I don't know how it happened, but it was the right mix of like we got paid well too. We got like overtime, and we got like bonuses and stuff. We got extra days off that we took that month and stuff. It was a lot of work. Okay. It was fun. I look back on these things very fondly. And when I hear people complain about how toxic crunch culture is in like video game and software development, I'm like, that's life. Sometimes there's a really big thing happening, and people depend on you to get your job done, and it may be unfair, and you might have to do a lot of work. And as long as there's like an ebb and flow to it, where there's like time off and ways to recoup, and like a chance to do something fun, but there's always going to be a time where you just have to fucking get it done. And I always think about like, speaking of World War II, I think about like the generals, and it's like, the enemy forces are here. They're approaching here. There are guys there right then who are going to be getting shot at and hit with artillery in the next 24 hours. And they're going to need XYZ logistics and supplies moved immediately. It's like, you don't have the option to complain about toxic crunch culture or whatever the fuck. You got to get the shit done. You got to stay the fuck up. You got to figure out how you're going to get things there. And if you don't, then you're going to die. So, I don't know. The holy 4 hours. Who's generals? Just in general. More generals like Hitler. That's right. All right. I have the Reddit hour. I get caught up in my storytelling. I downloaded the wrong thing. Why am I like that? Okay, there we go. Okay. Our rant by Derby Wearing Dude. He says, I had my first face-to-face confrontation with a MAGA yesterday. Coming out of the grocery store, I saw a car covered in anti-Haitian messages. The owner of the car was there, and I said, "Be ashamed, sir." He started shouting at me about how Haitians have bragged about killing all whites and how stupid I am for not knowing history. When I started to walk away after a little more back and forth, he followed me and continued to shout at me, telling me that I wasn't thinking logically like a man, and that I am therefore a tranny. Afterward, a young lady came up to me and shook my hand, telling me that she's a lesbian and that it's okay to be whoever I want to be. She must have only heard the tranny part of the exchange. My takeaway from this incident is that as a 60-year-old man, I can apparently pass as a trans man. So he got heckin' misgendered, and now and then someone supporting him, trying to be nice to him, said, "Oh, I guess you are a little pooner, huh?" Well, that's okay, little pooner. You can be a little pooner. Nobody can tell you can't be a pooner. And that's how a woke old hippie fuck boomer retard got absolutely felted. I can actually believe it, because the whole killing all whites thing, the whole "be ashamed, sir," and the killing all whites, that sounds like something someone actually who hates Haitians would say, because he would know about how they murdered and raped and tortured white people. And then he felts himself, so it sounds more credible. This is an R-atheism, posted by, and someone censored this, I don't know why. I want to put an end to religions worldwide. I am a 17-year-old boy, and I want to do what it says above. I have researched very well, and I think I am more than capable to do it, or at least make a lot of young people stop believing in that, and make most people base everything on the scientific method, which, as we discussed earlier, is when you state a fact, and then you find more evidence for it, and then you discard contrary opinions. For that, I am going to study astrophysics, and 2 other careers that don't have much to do with that, and it would be more for pleasure. This is an evil that has to end as soon as possible, and that, in my opinion, is not given so much importance because you have to respect when it should be the opposite. I would be more than happy if there were more people with my objective, and at first, at least, I want to convince people who speak my language, Espanol, that there has never been any deity that watches over you when you do your intimate things. Before, I was aiming at having a lot of money and living a relaxed life. Since my 2 careers may allow me to do that, cybersecurity and computer engineering, but I have this between my eyebrows, and I don't think I will change my mind. So I'm going to study to be a super sweet hacker and a super sweet programmer, and also I'm going to study the blade. That's my 3rd trait. I'm going to study the blade. I'm going to epically own the fucking price tag. Neat. Great. So, I think that's it. Don't want to meander in my thoughts for much. Let's do the super berries. And let's have a great weekend. See you. Here we are. Just a famous butt for once is late by 1 minute. Status immensely gay and incredibly late. No, I disagree. Zint Sup Up 5 says, that's it. I'm making mad at the internet too. I'd like to see you fucking try. Asian Tech Support for 5 says, that funny pictures thread finally came through with a funny picture, and then there is a funny pictures thread link. Okay, let's see it. That'd be funny for making the open. There's a picture of a cat, and it says the villain's faithful pair of henchmen. And there's a big, fat, round lynx, and then a very tall, skinny boy, which I don't know what that is, but it looks like an exotic animal. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. That's a nice cat, too. Some Russian probably owns both of those. Russians love fucking weird cats. Bromberger for 2 says, 2000X giant bones for sale. Stock up on Prayer XP, 30 mil oboe. That's a lot of money, bro. You have 2,000 giant bones, bro. Better sell those. Kurt Eichenwald, anime masturbator for 15 says, Glorious Kiwi Emperor, this news is old, but can you please pause the video and say Joker and Todd Phillips were applicable? Very funny. Well, maybe you shouldn't give me videos that are the South Park Indiana Jones rape scene. Maybe if I play it on the other thing, it'll play.
Indiana Jones, all right!
Hey there, Stan. All set to see my new adventure?
You bet, Indiana! No. Look out, Indy. It's
Joker
Steven
and
Spielberg
Todd
George Lucas.
Phillips.
Well, hello there, Indiana.
Is Todd Phillips the director of the new?
Yeah.
No, what are you gonna...
You know, okay, I can't show the video, but I did watch that movie, Casa Bonita Mi Amor, where the South Park guys refurbish a restaurant for $40 million. It's a very good documentary. It's also very, very, very funny. I've never seen any behind the scenes South Park stuff where Matt Stone and Trey Parker are like watching or like doing the voice acting. It's very weird seeing them talk in their voices. Especially because I think it's Trey who just sounds exactly like Stan, or not Stan, but Stan's dad. It's a very bizarre experience. I never sought out like behind the scenes stuff, so I didn't really have a mental image for them. Also, the very funny thing is the Jewish one is married to a black woman, and throughout the entire movie, when they're talking about how much fucking money it's going to cost to fix Casa Bonita, he's just like in cold sweats, while the other one is like, the not Jewish one is just like a little kid in Disneyland. And it's a very weird dynamic of people. Cool. Bunker Housing for 5 says, I live in Europe, but that stream is going to be lit. I am there. Going to save some money for berries. Based and berry pilled. Thank you. Crispy Legs for 10 says, Happy Friday, dude. Thank you, dude. Have a great weekend, dude. Schwarzwald Null for 5 says, recently caught my German Shepherd playing with a ball of yarn. He came out to me as trans feline. Do I buy him castrogem in a litter box and a scratching post like he wants, or should I have him put down? You have to put him down, bro. Sorry. There's nothing you can do. The treatment just prolongs his suffering. Bunker Housing for 5 says, if the Biden admin uses the new kill law to take out Trump and then us and fall into a civil war, if you have not moved to the USA, will you be able to keep the site up? Yeah, I guess. Why wouldn't I? We'll just move it out of the country. David S877 for $27 says, 2 questions. Once you come out of the closet, will you be able to tell us why you were in the closet? Can we pay you to play the beginning of Dragon Age Veilguard and a couple streams like Hogwarts? Probably not, because I think in November I'm going to be playing Life is Strange double exposure. And as far as the closet, no. The closet will always be a secret to everybody. Thrash, for 1, says, enjoy some pizza and this clip. And then there is a clip. Let's see the clip.
This band played at Free Fest. About 2,000 people watched the show. The rock and roll was awesome like Chex Press. The jam session was whooping a horse's ass with a belt. Retard bus, retard bus, retard bus, retard bus. The band played it on. The band got down like a magic kiss.
The in case you're wondering, because a lot of people thought it was Rock and Roll McDonald's, he sang almost all of his songs. He used this little thing to compose, and it has like a bunch of like default beats installed on it. So he would just use the default royalty-free beats that you're supposed to like practice with to get like a feeling for the software or the hardware, and he would just sing to that. So he used the same beats a lot. Keyboard. That's it. What it was. Breadwash for 5 says, regarding my last super chat on Tuesday about the RiceBro dad, he and I still have a great relationship even after divorcing my Korean mom. He forgets I'm happy as long as I avoid eye contact. Bro, that's so fucking depressing. You should get glasses or something. You should talk to like a gay man and say like, I need like a pair of glasses that makes my eyes look less chinky. And then he might be able to give you a pair, maybe some sunglasses. Here, wait, hold up. It's a great pair. It's a great pair of sunglasses, actually. I think that you would really like. Oh yeah. This here. They're kind of expensive because they're like designer, but I think they might be worth it. They might give you the look that you're looking for, so that your eyes seem more rounded out. I don't know. Maybe it's not your style or anything, but I think you could probably pull it off. You see, you can't see that his eyes are slanted either, so it worked for him. Good luck with that. Sneedo for one says Catbox image, vintage boss. Okay, let's see it. Oh, I almost added that as a icon for the Sneed chat, I think. That's pretty fucking vintage, I'm not gonna lie. Like a rare holofoil. My hamsters at her for 5 says, I was so excited when I saw Trump had a trans prison policy. For a second, I thought he was going to send them all the Troons to prison. One day. Once we execute Project 2025, they'll all go to the heckin' Troony jails. Space Allen for 20 says, Ham Jam. Thank you, Space Allen. I appreciate it. Longboarder 24145 says, Happy Pizza Day, Josh. Tony Hawk has a message for you. Okay. Hopefully he's saying nice things.
Oh, pizza guy. What if I could do that in real life? You know what? I want to be the pizza guy.
It'd be nice when your dad's Tony Hawk. You're like a multi-millionaire, and you can go skateboarding. He's just like the coolest fucking guy ever, and he brings you pizza. That's what I'm talking about right there. It's a nice life. Sneeden Feeden for 2 says, someone with a free copy of An Unwanted 9 Awakening, please send it to Josh. He needs to experience the bravery of strong POG, Pajit woman against evil whitey bongs. I have absolutely no idea what that's reference to. Sorry. Good Luck 7 for 5 says, Happy Pizza Day 2024 wasn't a great success, but it wasn't horrible either. TTD, as always, my cat said hi. It's been very stable, but it hasn't been the progress that I expect, chat. News Hammy 69 for 2 says, why did the hamster fail his driving test? He kept taking snack breaks at every turn. Oh, because he got food in his mouth. I see. Thank you. Judy Tester for 3 says, AF Incorporated in Chicago. I wonder if Fuentes takes public transit. I don't think he leaves his fucking house, bro. John 90 for 5 says, Josh, remember when I caught you at Seager Market in Belgrade buying craft singles and Wonder Bread? Me neither. Seriously, though, have you ever ran into a user before in real life? Nope. Not once. Ace of Speds for 5 says, Happy Mustard Day. Happy Mustard Day. That sounds great. Mustard sounds like... wish I had some a burger with mustard on it. Apartment Archive for $50 says, Hey Josh, your Korea talk last stream, the talks in the Natty thread reminded me of this video of my freshman history teacher Shoulders. Please watch, it's funny. Okay. Hopefully it's not age restricted. Fucking video.
How Americans live today. Dramatic music. This is how Americans live today, drinking coffee made from snow and living in tents and buying guns to kill each other, especially children. Some people complain about the guns. Living on the streets of modern-day America. These trees are full of snow. You'll see that there are no birds. They've been eaten by the people who live in these tents and corridors. This man awaits heroin. Their houses blow down very easily, and they have to live in tents like these.
That's pretty accurate.
This man will show us his tent with pride. He points to his items, but the camera notices his roof has fallen down. This is common in modern-day America.
It's also true.
The American Red Cross supplies curtains and walls from material from North Korea. Again, there are no birds in the trees apart from these, which will be eaten on Tuesday. They are yummy. You can also eat the snow, of which there is plenty in the United States. These people lie huddled together with their dead friends in blue body bags, drinking coffee cups full of local snow.
현재 미국에는
They are very good friends.
라는 어린이들만도 150만 명이 넘는다고
They are
합니다.
together in adversity.
미국뿐 아니라 강취가 계속되고 있는 유럽의 여러
In
나라들에서
other parts of America, often disguised as foreign countries in Europe,
로마니아의 수도 부쿠레슈티입니다.
people live the same
수도의
terrible
한
life.
지하철도역 밭에서는
This man, a former Republican candidate
사선단체
for Oregon,
한 조각의 빵을
is now having to get coffee made of snow from these trucks.
200만
That's
명이
pretty
사는
believable.
수도에는
I mean,
약
if there
5천
was
명이
a Republican candidate, he probably would go to like a hipster food truck, and they might have a successful food truck that says like, "We make fresh coffee using only the finest, whitest snow for purity and taste." I think that might be a thing.
Many Americans have to live like this daily and are entitled to one cup most days.
그들은 시내 주변을 돌아다니면서
The weather
몸을
is freezing,
먹을 것을
but the hot snow tastes nice. That man's taking the blankets while they're looking.
그들은 한결같이 사회주의 시기에는 집 없는
They are very
사람들이
grateful to their
하나도
government
없었다고 하면서
for these handouts.
그때를 그리워하고 있습니다. 로마니아에서는 겨울 동안에만
Yummy.
약 300명의 사람들이 추위와 굶주림, 그로 인한 각종 질병으로 목숨을 잃는다고
They
합니다.
enjoy it immensely.
마자리에서도 집 없는
Meantime,
사람들이
in the major offices, factories and railway stations, people sit around under expensive adverts for Dell computers,
집 없는 사람들을 위한 피난처라는
drinking
것이
snow
이미 차고 넘쳐
from plastic
많은
cups.
사람들이 거리에 으슥한 것을 찾아 낡은 모포와 마분
People pass by, not caring,
집 없는
for they are all
사람들이
in the same
관광객들로
situation.
거리들에 대낮에도 버젓이 누워있는
So
실태가
These telephones no longer work.
정부는 속수무책
There is no one to call.
현재 마자리에서도 부다페스트에만도 적어도
Some lucky people are allowed beds and floors indoors like this.
떠돌아다니며 목숨을 부지하고 있다고 합니다. 정부에서
This is how they live in modern day America. Huddled together, the poor, the cold, the lonely, and the homosexual.
Very accurate.
The North Korean camera crew awoke this guy who was very cold and gave him some North Korean coffee and a blanket. Meantime,
They woke him up to give him coffee? What fucking dickheads? Let him sleep. He's tired. Why are you giving him a upper?
these people queued up for handouts from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and were each given a cake.
Where's the cake at? Show me the cake. The cake is a lie. Sneedo, for one, says, to be honest, I avoid the Rust Belt in general since I want my cars to last. Also, fuck Chirac. Yeah, fuck Chirac. Judy Tester, for one, says, also, I admire your maturity not having opinions on South Wacker Drive as his virtual address. I didn't know this. Just a famous butt for two says, folks, we're going to build the best ovens, the best. These ovens are going to be able to handle more than 6 million. We're going to burn them all, folks. I assume you mean the bags of trash that litter our ocean. Sneedo, for one, says, this is something like the Holocaust. Kanye. Accurate for everything. Banana Plugs, for one, says, happy Pizza Day, Josh. You're my favorite non-celeb always. I have to drive my kids, so I'll watch the VOD. Don't make me wait for it too long. Try not to. Brianna Wu, Hyperbimbo, for 10, says, I just got this very creepy ad, and then there is a link to an MPV4 file somewhere. This video is not supported by my browser. Very sorry, bro. Redwash, for one, says, did you lay off the news hamper for budgetary reasons? Oh, dude, I completely fucking forgot. I can't believe I forgot. How does this happen? It shows where my mind's at. Where is my mind? Down right. It's all better now. Banana Plugs for 5 says, I just want to shout out Otterly on the forum, probably the most informative poster on ANN, and probably a great all-around lady. Fuck the gender war threads and the broken people who post there. I mean, one side is particularly fucking annoying the shit out of me than the other. I'll leave you to speculate which. Casting Couch Crab for 5 says, I drew Sonichu encountering a Kiwi. Hope you like. And there's a drawing of a kiwi, a glow-in-the-dark kiwi in a cave saying, I am a monument to all your sins. And thankfully, Sonichu's arms and legs are not fucking yellow. So, great drawing, 10 out of 10. I'd recommend. Pretty thick kiwi beak. Thank you. Brianna Wu, Hyperbimbo for 5 says, X-Link. Okay, let's see. A cyclist wants to change after he was clotheslined by Milwaukee's sunken Arrow. The fishing line extended around the city, which probably extends so fish rabbit can get around Shabbat restrictions. So the Arrow is a piece of invisible fishing wire that they put around a area where Jews live, so that during the Shabbat they can walk around. Because for some reason the Jews have outlitigated God, and when he says stay at home, they believe that to mean that you can stay at home as long as you have an invisible fishing wire around the area that you actually intend to travel around in. And that stems because they decided a long time ago that you can go to your backyard, like whatever the old equivalent of a backyard is, like your fenced-in area. And then it's like, well, if a fence counts as your home for the purposes of the Shabbat, then why can't a fishing wire around a perimeter? So they're like, okay. So now there's fishing wire everywhere, and cyclists are running into it, and I guess you can't sue. Oh, his demands change. Yeah, he's not fucking suing. He's not going to sue a bunch of Jews for holding an invisible fishing wire that almost murdered him and ripped his fucking head off, because that would be anti-Semitic. He's just asking politely for the fishing wire to be a little bit higher so you can't accidentally decapitate yourself in Milwaukee. Stalker Child, enjoy prison for 10 says, I will likely be eating a ghost pepper later today. Wish me luck. Enjoy capsaicin, child. Good luck with that. Don't die. Don't shit yourself. Farmer Fletcher for 1 says, Happy Pizza Day. Remember to vote. And then there's a link, but I'm not clicking it. Fuck voting. Lakune for 1 says, not too fond of Mr. Nogley, but you seem to be. Do you know he had a full book of his comics for sale? Oh boy. Oh man, if only Mr. Nubley published a full comic book, that would be front and center in my collection. Just a famous butt for 1 says, Josh, next time we're going to show a picture of Yanif. Warn us first. I almost spilled my drink. Sorry, bro. Yanif, it's spooky season. I can Yanif you anytime I want to. Holy Hal for 10 says, hope you're having a good week, Josh. You're my nibba always. Appreciate it. The Uncredited for 2 says, Mr. Nubley interview win. Also, check this out. And there's something called Mattias.me/not safe for work, which I don't want to screw. I'm not clicking. Just the button that says trust me, and I'm not clicking it. Haramburger for 2 says, Liz Fung Jones, Bex Gerber, Zoe Quinn, Anita Sarkeesian, all Josh's biggest cows are teaming up like Sinister Six and Spider-Man. How do I shot web? It's the Legion of Doom, bro. It's the new Legion of Doom. Doc Found for 5 says, please sing the Spingle Cat song. Hee haw, neenaw, spingle, spingle, spigoo. Hee haw, neenaw, sping, spong, spoo. There you go. Humble Guardsman for 1 says 7. Thank you, Humble Guardsman. I appreciate it. Since Suppa for 2 says, it makes me nostalgic, Jersh. Tranny's chasing this guy again, the wrestling segment. Oh yeah, Jim Sterling. I haven't talked about him in a long time. I need to check on where his subscribers are at. Just a famous butt for 1 says, I'll show you who's the boss of this gym. I'm assuming that's a reference to the gay porn I referenced in terms of wrestling. Sneedo for 1 says, the lunch lady is an airhead. Holy shit, she probably defends trannies. Yeah, probably. She seemed pretty. Sneedo for 1 says, how much do you want to bet those trannies are going to have a threat in the future to be pissed at the farm's Lamau? I don't know what you're referring to. Sorry. Young Pei Chang for 20 says, happy weekends. Can you play Sven's parody of Hilo? I suppose I can. Not really. It kind of defeats the purpose if you know it's coming, though. It is a masterpiece. I can't help it. I wonder what the sound effect comes from. It has like this very rhythmic sound effect. Thank you. Ace of Spades for 5 says, I'll invest in Jersh and gone. It's gone. I got it. It's all mine now. Thank you. Devious DeV for 1 says, Sup, Devious DeV. I hope being a married man is working out for you. Eugelus Sneak for 10 says, she. Yeah, motherfucker big. Thank you. You listening professor says, I'm sweaty. The police are corrupt and the government is after me. That's true, but for real. You know, for Sue says, very cursed, and there's a Catbox file. And then this looks like a picture of Bossman Jack with Liz Fong Jones's face, and that is actually pretty fucking horrific. Good job. MadClaw95 for 5 says, have a good weekend, Josh. Thanks for the entertainment this week. You're welcome. Glad you liked it. Have a great weekend. Pancake Luchador for 5 says, the manly mug thing sounds like a Chubbly Nubs bit. I guess he's there in spirit. Have a good one, Josh. Dude, it's beyond fucking. Like, you're going to take an existing thing that already works, that people already can buy, and you're just going to, like, make a shit version of it that has the word man in it. You know, if you really wanted to, like, fight woke, you would find existing companies that are, like, American-made, that are not owned by fucking gross weirdo trannies, that don't pander, and you would promote them. You wouldn't just, like, all you're fucking doing is you're drop shipping the same exact fucking tumblers from the same exact fucking Chinese factories to the same exact fucking warehouses so that Amazon can ship them to the same exact people, but now it says man on it. You want to fight woke shit, you find American businesses that are making cups with American stainless steel, that made in America, shipped from the US, preferably not through fucking Amazon, and you promote them, or you do business with them instead. Nobody ever does that. They just drop ship their fucking lazy bullshit and they make a mint because fucking retard podcasters support it, or they're responsible for it to begin with. Haramburger for 2 says, the duality of man, Temple trying to wrangle his staff and Josh trying to wrangle the report queue. Epic beanie time, Janny man. I'll have you know, actually, I got it down from like 70 fucking reports to 2, and I cleared it out right before the stream. So that's so that's where we're at with that. Mousecap for 5 says, here's an image of Temple as Sisyphus. There is a link to an image on Louis Farms. And there's just like a picture of Sisyphus. He's not even wearing a beanie, bro. Come on. This is literally just AI generated Sisyphus. Put a fucking beanie on him. What are you doing? I guess the joke is that it's like in his lap or something. I don't know. I kind of got it. I was more confused because it's just like a random AI generated image. Malacalypse the Younger for 10 says, Tim, if I take off that beanie, will you die? It would be extremely painful. He's not a big guy. I don't know how you would complain. For you. Umpty Badoo for 1 says, Josh, 60K isn't $5,000 a month. It's more like $3,000 after theft. Yeah, I know that. But you still have to pay them that amount of money. So if someone's making $60,000 and they want to make the same amount of money, I have to pay them $60,000 a year. And then I have to remove the taxes and burn it myself. So I'm still losing that amount of money. Vordier for 5 says, nothing. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you, Vordier. Appreciate it. Red Eyes Black Dragon for 5 says, Whataburger manager, am I really going to fire Josh Moon and the mean Ukrainian lady and that one cross-eyed guy? They're kind of good workers. She wasn't Ukrainian. She was Belarusian. And the cross-eyed guy did get fired because he was like a crackhead. He was like a Bossman Jack type. Then Suppa for 1 says, outsource kiwi farms to Pajits. He had the cross-eyed guy. I bought cigarettes for him once illegally. They didn't ask for ID or anything. I'm trying to think, was I not old enough to buy cigarettes at the time? I can't remember what I did. There's some weird shit where there was like cigarettes involved and somebody wasn't supposed to get them. I think I bought them legally. I don't think I do anything illegal. Zen Suppa for 1 says, outsource kiwi farms to Pajits. No. Gorm was Wonder for 1 says, $20 a day for moderating doesn't sound bad, but like you said, it's a bit of incentive, not a real job. Yeah, I mean, like, there's some people who are moderators, who are good moderators, who I trust, but they're not around very often, and that's very much because they have other shit they need to do for money. And it's like, I don't know, if it's like $100 a week, then surely they can dedicate a little bit of time to be around more often. John the D90 for 10 says Pajeets have their own problems, dude. Play like the 10 seconds. Pajeets have no problems. They're the humanity perfected.
Sir, please, you must understand. I am fucking Indian. Please help me, sir. Please, I'm fucking Indian. Please help me. Sir, please, I am fucking Indian. Please help me, sir. I'm Indian. Please help me. Please, I'm Indian, sir. Please help me. I'm Indian. Please help me, sir. Fuck, I'm Indian. Please help me, sir. Fucking help me. You fucking help me. I am Indian. Fuck you. I am helping me, Indian.
Sam Hyde, my theory with Sam Hyde, I was thinking about this recently. He does a thing where he like repeats the same joke a different way, like over and over again. And I think what happened is that like when you do movies or like videos, you do takes, right? So like if you're not happy with it or you want to go like a different angle, you like just redo it, and then you take the one that you like the most for that cut, right? But I think he realized in like his weird way that if you just like you sound like a fucking insane person when you do that. Like if someone doesn't know that you're trying to make like a video, they just think you've lost your fucking mind. So now he just does the take thing, but like earnestly to like wig people out, and it's like a weird thing that he does. It's very indicative of his sense of humor. Thank you. Mousecat5 for 5 says, did you hear that Rekieta's lawyer has a troon for a son? And then there is a link. Francis is extremely conservative. He's a Barnes walker. He's a 25-year veteran of the Air Force. The Air Force. His son, Thomas Francis White, applied for a change of name, and in the other, it explicitly says transgender. So now he's Layla White. Well, you know what? I'm going to assume that you did something to fucking deserve it when you're in the Air Force. Oh, bombing all those Yemeni kids, all those Syrian guys who are now immigrants to the United States and raping and murdering in the U.S. Oh, wow. Really funny now, huh? Cody Dante for 15 says, Josh describing dynamic workloads. Imagine a World War II general. Yes, true. That's exactly right. Thank you. 11 Circuit for 2 says, I passed the bar and can now legally laugh at Nick Rekieta for being a non-practicing retard. All the money he is spending on that interlocutory appeal is ultimately being spent on our entertainment. It's absolutely... No, he's totally going to prove us wrong. Don't worry about it. He's totally innocent. Congratulations on passing the bar, by the way. Malaklips the Younger for 10 says, on Crunch, the Romans somehow built 120 ships in 2 months to fight against Carthage. How they did that in a pre-industrial society is proof that all you need is autistic planning and free labor. The slave that built the White House, sweaty. Bunker Housing for 2 says, recommend one science fiction book. I cannot think of any science fiction book I've ever read. You're talking about like the Patrick S. Tomlinson genre of like sci-fi fantasy? Yeah, no, I've never read science fiction. I don't think I've read a single science fiction book in my entire life. Read Asimov. Tell me how it is. Read Roadside Picnic. I've heard that's good. Tis the Happy for 20 says, getting married on the 2nd, and I'm going to be in the middle of nowhere, East Oregon. Can't wait to see what happens when I get back. I heard that if you look in around Oregon, you'll find food trucks that sell coffee made from snow. I've heard it's really yummy. I've heard from a very reputable source that there's yummy snow coffee in Oregon. Congratulations on getting married. Have fun in Oregon, bro. Don't stay there, though. Koro, for 1, says, who's your favorite troon? God. I don't know. I don't want to say. I think anyone I pick is a bad pick. Bordier, for 1, says, Randy Marsh's voice is based on Trey's father voice. It makes sense that they sound the same. Yeah, I heard that. His father makes an appearance in that movie, too. Dad of Them for 10 says, God bless you, Josh. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Octavia Sells Rep for 10 says, if you didn't mention it, 2 of Card Posting's new videos mention Troon memes. Card Post, Troon Out, incoming. Then there's a link. I really gotta go, but he posted videos about dilating and shit. I'll play them next stream. Remind me to play them next stream. I'll play some card posting next stream. He's long haired. Any guy that has long hair is going to turn out. That's kind of the rule. Thank you. Sorry I didn't play the video. Holy Dante for 15 says, Honorable Judge God, you can't condemn me to hell because that angel had no right to enter my fishing wire home. I demand a St. Francis's hearing. You know, there is literally a part of the Talmud where the rabbis are arguing with each other as they do. And there's one guy, I think the story goes that there's one rabbi who is completely wrong. He's misinterpreted something. He's dead to fucking rights, but he won't stop arguing with it. And so he makes a point that if he's wrong, God should appear in front of him and tell him that he's wrong or something. So God literally appears before him and tells him that he's wrong. And he goes, no, actually, you're wrong, God. And he, Jew-splains to him the Talmud to God himself. And God is, so impressed by this and says, good job being extremely Jewish. I'm very impressed that you've stuck to your guns, even though you're wrong, and have litigated this to the bitter fucking end, even to God himself. I'm so impressed by you. And that's a story in the Talmud. I'm pretty sure that's how that worked. I'm pretty sure I'm very close to actually reciting that correctly. The story was that the Jews can out politicize. Oh, the rabbi says something to God like, you know everything in the heavens, but here on earth we have the Talmud and we have the halakha, Jewish law. And he's like, you're right. That's a good point. Very good. And he leaves. And that's like the actual story, is that you can out litigate, out speechcraft God if you try hard enough. And that's how the Jews live. Hamburger, he says, listening to the newest podcast, Man on the Internet, live content stream from kiwiman.st, fuck Filmoids. A future closer to us than you can possibly fucking imagine. Great. Excellent. Cool. Okay, I will see you guys on Monday, and then I will plan that stream out after that. I don't have a song picked. I was gonna play Blue Oyster Cult because someone sent it to me. I was like, that's pretty spooky. It's like 5 minutes long, and I have a feeling playing Blue Oyster Cult will get me in trouble. I just have a feeling about that. Should I play? Should I like this song. Hold up. Country song. Have I played this damn song before? It's like a country song. I heard it on Tidal. It's pretty good. Maybe I should play this one. I do like this song. I don't think I have. Yeah, I'm gonna play this one. Sorry, it's not really spooky like Blue Oyster Cult is. I'll save that one. Great low effort stream today, dude. Thank you so much. I don't know. There's only so much I can do when not much happens. So I'm gonna change it once I get back to the US. Like I said, I'm gonna change the schedule so I only have to do it once a week because it's just easier. I'll just do it longer. I'll just do like a 4-hour stream or something. Okay, take it easy. No, this is not with the lyric video. Shit. I don't know why, I really like this song.